I honestly didn't want ham, but I was like, you know what? Just to please everybody else, I just make ham and be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want it either. So, but
You look really
other,
festive while I'm over here like in the darkness, just all gloomy and shit. Right.
you could be Krampus and I'll be Mrs. Santa Claus.
I'll be the boogeyman. No, I'm just kidding.
Boogada boogada. Okay, I'm just saying a greeting here. Oh man, giving myself all these places to do stuff. Go over here, chat. Hopefully everybody can hear us. I'm sure they can. If not,
Yes, so
I'm
they
sure
can
they'll
hear
let us know.
everything.
Huh?
They're saying they can hear everything, or whoever's in the chat. Oh wait. Oh, that was me. Never mind. I'm I'm like they can hear us. It's all me.
It's all you. It's all good. Okay. Intro time. Yeah, I've been trying to figure the system out tonight, so it's been kind of wonky. All right.
Right.
Be with you in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Wapham crews. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high. Get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Saturday, December 24th. Happy Christmas Eve. It is Sunday, December 25th. Merry Christmas to everyone across the pond and beyond. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, and Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have had an awesome week so far. Mine's been kind of crazy. But I'm your host, TessaTNT, and we are broadcasting live from the Mile High Clubhouse tonight. Like I said before, I'm so glad you guys could join us. If you are joining us, I know a lot of people are hanging with the fam right now and making food, making some yummy goodness for tomorrow. If you're over the pond, then you're already well into the good scrumptious diggings. I bet it's really, really good. So if you're listening to us live right now, you may be listening to us on KPNL Radio, which you can find on KPNL at kpnl-db.com. You can also find us on eTalk Radio, which that's what I was trying to do, but it appears that we're having some technical issues. I'm just going to peek at that really quick, and it still won't let me go live, so I don't even know what's going on with that. So hopefully we'll get that worked out before next week. Sorry about that, guys. So if you want to listen to us on your free time, whether you're working it, or working out, you can check us out once more under We Are Paradox Media at Spreaker, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Facebook, Tumblr, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podcast Chaser, and Podvine. Still working on the Amazon. It's kind of like they don't understand what I'm talking about, and yeah, I don't know. If you don't mind, for Christmas, I'd love it if you guys go over to YouTube under We Are Paradox Media. Please subscribe. Like any video that you've watched or listened to, leave us any comments, whether good or bad. I want to hear it all. And just let us know if you're enjoying the show and if there's a certain guest that you would like us to have on. So this evening, I have a treat for all my guys and gals out there. This evening, we will be talking to Mr. Mike Cardenas, and he is the founder of Midnight Paranormal Society. He began MPS in hopes of finding like-minded individuals that can work together and can better understand the paranormal as well as discover ways to better help their clients. MPS was founded in 2008 due to paranormal activity that his mom had experienced back in 1989. They had a family friend come over and play the Ouija board without their knowledge, and from that day going forward, his mom and he were plagued by something unknown. No one was willing to help them during this time, despite their desperate need for it. In fact, they were told that they were crazy and that it was all in their heads. Now that he's an adult and has his own team, he will without a doubt do his very best to provide peace of mind to all those who are being plagued just like he once was. Isn't that the really hard part? And that's kind of why I started my group. I hate when people say you're crazy, you're just imagining it, and there's no help. I just want help.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I hate to say crazy, but it's ridiculous that, people can be so close-minded, and I understand that when people don't understand something, they it kind of scares them. But for people like ourselves who are now in a position to kind of give back and help people, I think about it now and I'm like, man, I wish, I wish there could have been more individuals, more out there, regardless of in the time where, you couldn't talk about this. I wish more people did. They didn't just listen to the naysayers, and I wish it would have been more open. People would have been open because maybe there could have been someone out there who could have helped us, but there wasn't. And so now, like you said, about my little bio there, that I'm able to give back, and for me, one thing that I've learned is that there really is people who are you know going through stuff, but then there's also people who they're it's just in their mind, and unfortunately, you have to be very careful with those kind of cases because not to get off subject, but we had a case one time, or we had an individual contact us one time, and they really were not mentally stable. And they tried to grab Ron, one of my lead investigators. He tried to grab him by the arm and drag him into the house. And Ron's a Marine dude, man. Ron ain't no pushover. Ron, like, and not to get too much in that, but, you got to be careful. You got to, make sure that when you're taking on these cases, you had to, be aware of these things. You know what I mean? What if it's a legit thing or someone just mentally unstable?
Right. Yeah, that's one thing that we decided to do from the beginning. Um, and a lot of people are scared off by it, but it's a form that asks, are you using any drugs, whether illegal or prescribed by a doctor? Are you taking psychological evaluations? Do you have a counselor?
Right.
Like, not that we're not going to help you, but we need to know exactly what's going on with this case so we
Mhm.
know what to look for, what not to, or, just to kind of figure out the whole stasis of the thing.
Right.
So, we did get a bit into what was going on with your mom and you when you were younger last time, and I've been thinking about it all week, and I'd like to go over it again just in case somebody wasn't here last week that may be listening this week. I think that'd be really cool, just to get them back in on uh, the rope and such. Um,
What was
So
the
do you
last
want to
thing?
start from the beginning as far as your friends, or I don't know who it was that came into your house and did this Ouija board,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then
Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, and then you guys had like all shit break loose.
Yeah. So last time we kind of talked about how it all started, and me being a child, my mom and I live in this apartment complex, and here in San Antonio, Texas, and you know, we had a neighbor who lived like, try to imagine there's just cookie cutter apartments, right? Like there's a lot of apartment complexes that are cookie cutter, the same layout, pretty much. And our neighbor, oh, I heard an echo.
Yeah, my volume was on my phone. I was just seeing
Oh,
how
okay,
things are
sorry,
going.
sorry. And so our neighbor came to us and was like, hey, uh, can we have the birthday party in your home? My mom kind of like, questioning why, we all have the same apartment layout. My mom was just, very nice person, doesn't like to say no to people. And so she said yes, agreed to host a party in the apartment. And then fast forward, the birthday boy at the time when he was alive, now he's since passed away. Um, he and his friend brought over the Ouija board, and I had no idea what the Ouija board was. Could hear him talking about it. I had no idea the severity and the extreme and the things that were going to take place in our home because of that thing that he brought into our apartment. And sure enough, they're playing this game, and I had to use the restroom. So I walked to the stairs, and for those try to visualize how my apartment was, The living room's downstairs, and the bedrooms and everything else were upstairs. And I go to the stairs. There's a light switch. I flip it on. I'm walking up the stairs, and I reach this part. It's like a landing area, like it's like a midpoint between where the first set of the stairs kind of finishes, and then you have to go to the landing area, and then it continues the next few steps here on the second floor. And I get to that landing area, and the light above me just cuts off, and I look down the stairs to see someone was, playing around trying to, scare me. I look down, there's nobody there. The light switch is still up. So I looked up at the ceiling, and it's dark, and I guess I don't know if the light went out or what. So I go up the stairs. When I get to the top, my room's to the left hand side, and my mom's room is to the right, and the restroom is in front of me. I look to the left, and I had this old, um, like vintage desk. It was like this old wood and steel desk, and it was the cubby hole was underneath where you sat, and the chair and the desk were just connected, one solid piece. And I remember, um, as a kid, I was a heavy set child, not extremely obese, but I was just heavy and chubby kid, and I could never fit in that desk because it was so little. And I remember looking, and I see this full grown man. I see this full grown man sitting in the desk, like perfectly, like he just fit perfect. And he has his fist under his chin, and he's looking out my window, and kind of like just gazing out the window. And I go to the restroom, I do my thing, I come out, and now my room is to the right hand side, my mom's room is to the left, and the stairs are in front of me. I start walking towards the desk. I mean the stairs. Sorry. And when I put my foot to step down, it made like a creaking sound. And I turned to the right like really fast to see if he heard me. And it was crazy because he turned and looked. It was like he turned and looked, but it wasn't like he saw me or acknowledged me. It was more so like he heard a sound, and he's acknowledging the sound that he heard. And so I go down the stairs, and as I'm going down, I can hear my mom like dropping F bombs and get the F out of here, and everybody party over, take all your your stuff and get out. And my mom found out they had the Ouija board, so she like ran everybody off. Like she literally, just kicked everybody out, and she's locking the door. I go, mom, mom, mom. She's like, yes. I said, your friend's upstairs, and I was a small kid, and she's his friend. So she goes up the stairs to go see who it is. And as she's walking up the stairs, I'm right along with her, and the lights are still off from the stairway. We reach that landing area, and boom, the light just turns on above us, and we stop and we look up, and there's the light on, and we keep going. And when she goes into a room, this person who was there is gone, like he's no longer there. And so when this happens, my mom looks at me. She goes, "There's nobody here. There's no. There's you're maybe you're seeing things." And so, she looked everywhere. There's nobody there. And without knowing, that was like my first paranormal experience, seeing this full body apparition of this man, and not knowing there was a ghost, or this person. I thought was just a regular someone from the party, and it really wasn't. It was a spirit.
Yeah, and excuse me, but you didn't realize that until you said there was a man in there, and then she went and looked, and there was nobody there.
Right? Yeah. She looked, and there was nobody. I mean, she looked everywhere under the beds. We had a closet. I had a closet in that room that never opened. Even when we moved in, it never opened. And we were waiting for like the maintenance people to come and like fix the door so we can have it open, and we just never could get it open. And so after this occurs, in most cases that I've taken on, sometimes you get cases where it's residual, like a repeat in time of something that happened at one time. Maybe it's a energy that's there, that's like an imprint. Sometimes you get intelligent haunts, and in this case, I don't know what it was, because it was something new every day, something different. There was just a few things that occurred on a daily basis that happen, but for the most part, something new happened every day. And you know, we found out later on in the time they were living there. My mom went to the apartment manager and said, "Listen, my son, we're both seeing things, we're hearing things. We need to know there's something happened in this apartment." And when we were told eventually, after a lot of things happened, we were told that a guy had committed suicide in that room. And the lady expressed our she told us in detail how he looked, and that's exactly what I had saw. So the man, everything that said he, that was the man, and he looked really sad. So I guess the spirit was still there, but again, his what who he was had nothing to do with the Ouija board. But I think because it opened this door, and like a portal almost, it opened something up. I feel like whatever came through kind of awakened whatever. Well, I guess this man who was already there, and I always wonder if that Ouija board thing would have never happened, would I have saw that man? And I'm thinking about just in the second, I'm like, I wonder if he would, if the Ouija board would have never happened, would we have still experienced, this gentleman? Maybe I don't know. It hit me right now. I never thought about all these years. I'm like, I wonder would he have shown himself if the Ouija board was never there in the first place. I don't know, but still,
Yeah, like kind of maybe it woke him up because you didn't
right,
witness
right,
him before. Or
right.
like how long had you guys lived there before your neighbor did that?
My mom had been living there even before I was born.
Okay.
So yeah, she had been there a while. She was very young when she had me when she was 19, and I think she had been there when she was maybe like 18, and of course once I was born and stuff. But she had been there for a little bit before I had was even born. So I mean, she never mentioned that anything ever happened before that. So I think the Ouija board really just kind of awoken things that were there.
Yeah, and I think it can a lot of people think if you commit suicide, you're an earthbound spirit, you're not at peace, like because you weren't at peace when it happened, right?
Right,
But it kind of seems like he was fine, he was like at rest, but once they did that, it kind of reawakened him.
right, yeah.
And that was your neighbor that did that?
Our neighbor, her son is the one who brought that thing over, and it was just like chaos after that. I mean, there was so many things that happened afterwards, and it was one of those things where my mom and I would experience things, and our her first thought was, let me go to my family, like, let's go to our family, let's go to neighbors, let's go to whoever who would listen to us, and every single person, friend and family, said, it's nothing, maybe you're not sleeping enough, maybe it's drugs, maybe stress, maybe it's this, maybe, I mean, it was always something, but never like, well, and no one ever asked questions like, well, what else has happened? What else have you experienced? No one ever offered any kind of help. So like I said, we went to the the Catholic church across the street from the apartments, and that church is still there to this day. Um, we went over there. My mom went over there. I went with her, and the priest was like, "Listen, we don't offer help with that kind of stuff. But this is what we can do for you. Here are some scriptures. Here's some holy water. Go put crosses on your windows. Cleanse your own house, and this will get rid of it." And my mom
Well,
came
that's
home.
true, I believe, to a certain extent. But what our team does is we go in and we cleanse it for them, but we have them walk through with us as we're doing it so they know exactly how to do it. Because if you do it incorrectly, it's not going to work. And we show them pointers like you have to have confidence and know this is your house and you have the power to get rid of this thing. And these are things you can say, blah, blah, blah. Like you don't have to say the exact thing I say, but do your own mantra that is kind of
Right,
similar. But
right.
I
And
can't
and and
believe
and, and not only
churches
that,
do that
but
all the time. I don't get it.
and not only that, but one thing I tell people too, because we also help. We offer cleansings, and we take care of. We do our. We tell, first of all, we tell people, just because you do a cleansing, whether it's us doing it for you or you doing it for yourself, don't expect for that it's to make a cure all where it takes care of everything, and it's done the moment you attempt it. That's not the way it works. Because the hope behind the cleansing is that whatever's there would just kind of like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
willingly
I'm
gonna
gone
gonna
forever.
go. Yeah, like I'm willingly gonna go, but sometimes things put up a fight, and it may take several times to do a cleansing to fully remove, or at least peacefully help this thing kind of move on. Uh, but too, I tell people, if you're gonna do a cleansing, you can't just attempt it and then you get scared and you stop because you don't want to upset whatever's there. So you
It's
kind of
like
just.
house cleaning. You have to do
Mhm.
it periodically, like do it once a
Right,
week, or
right, right.
if it feels like that's not working, do it 2 times a week. Sometimes,
For
more,
sure.
sometimes less. It just really depends on your entity and what's going on in your house. It's like
Hmm.
cleaning house. You're
Right.
cleansing, the air,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
area,
But one thing you don't want to do, and this is just my own opinion. I'm not saying it's a fact or this is the law or anything, but
just your
one thing
experience.
from my own experience, one thing that I would definitely recommend, if whoever is listening, if you're gonna cleanse your own home, make sure that you have a window open or a door cracked open, something where the energy can escape. You don't want to have all the windows shut and the doors, and you're just kind of like trapping. You're trying to get rid of the energy, but you're trapping it in your house, and you're just kind of chasing around. Like you have to have some window open, partially open or door, just so it has an exit way to get out of the location. Because if you just have your doors closed, your windows closed, and you're just doing the cleansing, in my opinion, I feel like all you're doing is, you're really gonna piss it off in the sense that you want me gone, but you're not letting me get out of the house. You know what I mean? So or the location. So you have to have an exit, a way for it to leave. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I get what you're saying there, and I've heard that from a lot of people. They're like, make sure you leave a window open. But for me, it's like you want to get every nook, cranny, and crevice.
Hmm.
So what I do is I go through and cleanse, and then I'll open the door, and that way, like the smoke and whatever else is stuck in there can get out. And then
Hmm.
I'll go around with Palo Santo after I use the sage and cleanse around the windows and the doorway. But like, I don't know. It's just like that thought in my mind. If I have this window cracked open, like maybe it's going to be able to hide somewhere. So that's how I've always done it. Um, and I've heard other people say it like you, otherwise, like you got to have a window open or whatever. But in order for the smoke to permeate and get into every nook and cranny and crevice, keep it all closed. And then, like, right as you're about to end it, like open the door or whatever. And then, hopefully it'll shoot out. And things have turned out good
Yeah, I
for
mean,
me. So maybe that
it's.
works.
I mean, to me, at the end of the day, it comes down to preference, I guess. And one thing that we do is, we don't have like 50 windows open, and it's kind of there's it's not really, everything's kind of like escaping. We have one way in and one way out. The reason for that is because, well, on top of that is, we try to do our very best to go into the house. We start from the very back of the location, and kind of like, it's like, imagine when, like a fisherman in the water, and they're trying to, like, they have these nets to kind of like scoop, the rivers, and push the fish in one direction. They don't just have like one small net, and they're kind of, going these endless circles and loops. They kind of cover all one area, and they kind of sweep it forward, like push the energy
Mhm,
forward. And so it kind of goes into the direction of the open door or window. And so once we do this, well, not me, 'cause I don't do the cleansing on my team, but let's say Jeanette or Deb or whoever's doing the cleansing, because we have one person who does the cleansing, and we have another person behind them following them, doing like sealing the windows. Because what we try to do is we try to build a barrier around the location. That way, once this energy is out, we want a barrier around the whole location. That way, it doesn't go back into the location. But again, it comes down to preference because everyone does it differently. There is
mhm,
not a one way thing, and that's the only way. Everyone just kind of, I've seen people do cleansings with drums and like
mhm.
just the most things that I'm like, wait, I never thought to use that. But that's the beauty of this show, is that there's just so many different methods and ways that if it works for you, then go for it. But if it doesn't, you just gotta keep learning until you fine tune it and you get it right.
Yeah, and I think one of the main things is like your belief system, what you believe
Hmm.
in. If you don't believe it's going to work, it's not going to work. You have to believe that it's going to work. And like you're saying, like drums and stuff like that, like even with a tribe here in the Battle of the Bands, our friend Mrs. Box, she's out there and she's like cleansing people before they go into the tent for this whole Battle of the Bands. And I was like, yes, please cleanse me because I love that stuff. Um, but yeah, I think it depends on your area, how you were raised, and different things like that. So here, white sage is a big thing. Sweet grass is a big thing in certain places, and why not use all of them? I'm trying to remember what that shell is. I want to say conch, but I don't think it is. It's a mother of pearl uh shell. I can't remember what it's called. But you can put a number of
Sorry.
random things in there. No worries. But I like to start with sage and then finish with holy wood because it just smells so good. Like I don't even have to burn it. Like I can just smell it and it makes the anxiety from whatever's in here go away. But yeah, I burn it in my office quite often.
The
And
one that really messes me up, and not so much because I have an attachment or anything, but just because of my asthma. I mean all the herbs and stuff that just like sage and anything that burns, or has this aroma, just really bothers me because of my asthma.
Mhm.
So whenever they're doing cleansing on me or the location, I'll do it, be around. And once I get my cleansing, I'm out of there because I'm like, I start choking with all the smoke and stuff. But the one that really, and not even because it burns, just I had it as a bracelet, and I threw it away eventually because it was so strong. Was Palo Santo, one of
Oh
my
yes.
one of my past members? I forgot what it was for. She's like, "Hey, Mike, I got you this." I go, "What is it?" And she put it on.
Was
As
it
soon as it
like
was on my
beads of Palo Santo or
Yeah, it was beads of Palo Santo, and she
okay?
she put it on me, and we're at a McDonald's, and we're eating before the investigation, and as I'm eating, it was so hard for me to breathe because the smell, it was like pungent, just boom in my face, and I go, do you mind if I
It's
take it
like
off and just,
permeating.
yeah, I was like, do you mind if I just put it away for now, and even when it was off of me, I smelled my wrist, and it was so strong, so even in my house, when I had it in my house, I put it away, like locked away somewhere,
Oh, I
and
wonder
the
if you could
whole
put it in
house.
your pocket and it would still work.
Well,
Because when it's out like that,
yeah, I
like
had I
it
had I had I had like in a drawer somewhere, like I mean, wrapped up good. And no matter what I did, the smell was just so it would like the whole house would fill with that smell. And I said, you know what? As much as I know what it's meant for, it was killing me, the smell. And I just I
yeah.
I'm throwing it away.
That reminds me of when I saged my house and my husband's like, I can't handle this. And I'm like, get out, demon. No, I
Yeah.
thought it was funny, but I get it. Like that smoke can aggravate people's senses, and since he was a kid, he's had issues with bronchitis. He gets pneumonia quite often and stuff like that. So I get it. You know, people have different sensitivities, but maybe don't be here next time we cleanse.
Oh, and then one time we're in investigation, and Kayla, one of our cleansers, she was cleansing the location. And one of the things, I don't know if you ever do this, or if anybody's listening, whoever's listening, any other teams, one of the things they would like to take with us is a chocolate, right? Uh,
Yes, like
because
an offering.
no, to ourselves, for ourselves, because for those who know, whenever you're feeling like really drained, we'll pop a chocolate because of the endorphin. It kind of makes you feel good. It kind of gets you going, plus the sugar.
Yeah, it's got
And
caffeine in it.
yeah, and so we'll take one, like not we don't need like a whole handful of them, but just like one little piece, and we're done, right? But
Give me the
we had
bag.
we had the pack of those how they made those there's a commercial, right? They had like the candy bar they put on the table, and it broke into like little M&Ms. Like they had like Hershey's, they had Reese's peanut butter cups, but they made them into form of like M&M looking ones, right? And
Hmm.
so they're these big old circle Reese's peanut butter cup, but like an M&M form, huge.
Nice.
And well, we were cleansing, or she was cleansing, and I forgot that the bag of candy was open. So I went home. It took me the next day, and I woke up and I popped a few. I threw two in my mouth, and it tasted like straight sage, man. I was like, oh,
Oh shit! Because
and
the
I had
smoke.
and I swallowed it, right, and I was like, well, I guess I'm cleansed from the inside too, so I'm good, man.
I ingested that.
Yeah, it
Oh, I
was
have
all right.
eaten sage before. Like, if I didn't feel like it did the job around me, I'll take like
Mhm.
a little piece. You don't want a lot because that can cause like acid reflux or whatnot. But if you take just a little tiny little piece and just like nibble it up and wash it down with water or whatever, if you're not feeling quite comfortable with the whole smoke around you and everything, try that, and that does work. Don't take a lot because, like I said, it causes indigestion or heartburn and stuff. But yeah, I have done that before when I feel like things are really hairy right now and I
Mhm.
just need a little extra oomph. But yeah, that's crazy. So you feel like it permeated the chocolate,
It did,
and when
man.
you ate it, you
It tastes like
tasted it.
straight sage. I was like, Holy cow, man! Like it just it blew my mind. I was like, holy cow, that's that. I mean, it was like the chocolate flavor was gone. The flavor of the chocolate was gone. It was just straight sage.
Wow. I wonder if that's because it was like, when stuff gets in your nose, things taste like it. I wonder if
Or
that's what it was.
it's like when you smoke meat with whatever wood or charcoal you're using,
Hmm.
and it permeates into the meat, like it just soaks into it. I think that's
Like
what happened. This,
mesquite.
yeah, like a mesquite, but in this case, it was sage, and it just it went into the candy.
Damn. That makes me I have an idea now. I got a whole new
Yeah.
market.
So yeah, it definitely. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting though. Like if you can't handle the smoke, maybe you can eat it.
There you go, right?
Not
Just
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's interesting. I never even thought about that. Like I have eaten it before just cuz I didn't feel like the whole sage around the body, like maybe it missed a spot. I need it in my system. I need it in me.
right. Make it blend into a milkshake. Just take it
Right?
down.
Make a smoothie.
A protein drink.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a sage smoothie. No, Palo Santo though, I kind of worry because I heard that it's getting very rare because they cut so much. And it makes me wonder, like, it's so like scented. Do they scent it or is it naturally like that?
So that's a good question. I'm not too sure. If they do scent it, it's like how long are they leaving it like submerged in whatever it is in order to stay that pungent? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I have some right here. All I gotta do is
Oh
smell it and
man,
it takes away my
I can
anxiety.
smell it through the freaking the screen.
You want some? No, just kidding. Yeah, I burn this in my office sometimes because yeah, we got stuff around here all the time. But yeah, I'll burn it and my husband will be like, "What's that smell? It smells really good." I'm like, "It's Palo Santo. That means Hollywood." But yeah, it does work. It really does. For anxiety, I think they should actually, market it for anxiety because it works for me. But okay, so going back to your childhood and things you went through, so um it just pisses me off that churches are like that. And it's kind of changed. I don't know if you heard this, but the Catholic Church actually released different scripts for people of different languages to be able to do on their own.
Mm.
Um, what is it called? I can't think right now. I'm having a brain fart. Exorcisms. And it's really scary because, demons are real. This shit is really happening, but they're doing it different languages and allowing people to do it on their own because there's so many possessions and different things like that happening. They just released it. You don't even have to go to school for it. All you have to do is read this, and you have to be confident not only in what you're reading, but in yourself because these demons know everything about you because their master told them or whatever it is. And they will bring this stuff up to make you feel less confident. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's just opening a whole new wormhole or what?
Well, you know what? And I was actually going to ask you this as you were talking, what you were saying. I was actually going to ask you a question, and because I forgot where I saw it at, or who said it, or when it was said, but I had saw somewhere. I don't know if it was a video or article or something, but mainly the church says this, right? They're
Mhm.
saying that there's no such thing as ghosts, that there's only demons. That when you die, you either go to heaven, you go to get judged, and then from there you decided where you're gonna go, heaven or hell. There is no like you're in limbo and stuff. So they were saying that what everyone thinks are communicating with these ghosts in actuality is demons that you're talking to. So my question is, and on the other on my show, when I had my show, I asked several different people. My question was, if let's say it's confirmed that there are no ghosts and it really is just these demons talking to you, or they're mimicking people who are alive, or because they say this, supposedly they know the whole history of the person. So if these things are it really is that, right, and it's proven that's what it is. Do you think a lot of people are going to walk away from the paranormal field? A lot of investors are like, hey, I don't want to do that. That's just kind of too much to deal with. so they're gonna walk away, or do you think more people are gonna come to the field because they want to better understand why these things are doing this? I mean, what do you think?
Okay, so now you open another can. um, for me, I don't think that ghosts are demons. I
Give me one
think
second. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
okay. We have a moment of silence, guys. I think he's got to talk to a family member real quick. But we'll get right back on the log like a bunch of happy frogs.
Sorry about that. They were asking me what the hell am I doing outside in the car. I'm like, no, I'm doing a show. I was like, I was gonna kick everybody out of my office, and oh, then I turned the lights off.
Oh, they're
Sorry.
like, did we upset you? Why are you out here? No, I'm fine. Hey, I can see you
So
better now.
yeah, no, I turned the overhead light on, but I anyway. So go back to what you were saying. I'm sorry about the what I had asked you. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I have a very good friend who was a roommate for a while, still a really good friend of mine. Love this person. But he was raised to believe that there are no such thing as ghosts, but they're all demons. And I don't believe that because I remember a scripture I read as a child, trying to get my wooden scriptures that I wanted to put on my shelf. But Jesus even said, "It is I, Jesus. I am not a ghost. It is me." Right?
Right.
So even Jesus knew that there were ghosts. And I do believe that there are ghosts. I do believe my mom appeared to my sister as a ghost or a spirit or whatever you want to call it. I think spirits are more intelligent and I don't know. There's so many different levels. But I do believe there's ghosts. I do believe there's demons, and I do believe that ghosts can mimic. We've had doppelgangers here. I've had a doppelganger. My kids have seen them. My second oldest daughter has had a doppelganger. My niece in law was talking to it and it wouldn't talk back. And she went into the kitchen to confront it, like, why aren't you talking to me? Are you mad at me? And she wasn't even there. So like, I don't know, I think these things do exist. When I did hear that I did have a doppelganger, it kind of freaked me out. Like, is it after my life? Because when you hear of a doppelganger, it's generally going to kill you and take over your life. But here I am today, or am I? No, I'm just kidding. But no, I do believe there's a plethora of stuff out there. There's so many different things. And it's hard to pin it down to just one thing. There's intelligent ghosts, there's repeats that are recordings. There's shadow people that aren't all bad. There's shadow people that are all bad. There are demons. There are so many different things. There's goblins, there's gnomes, there's fairies, there's all kinds of things on this little plate we call the paranormal, or under the umbrella of the paranormal. There's so many things. I don't think you can pin it
Right.
down to just, it's a demon. Wouldn't that be so simple if we could just say, oh, they're all demons? I think they come to us because they need help.
Right.
And I
But do you
think
think,
some of them,
but do you think if it was proven though that that's what it was, do you think more people will leave the field, or do you think more people come to the field if that's what it was, just for the conversation?
if they were demons,
If it was, if all the time that we've been thinking there's ghosts, but it really was only demons, do you think more people would stay or more people would leave? I mean, what do you think? I mean, just with the conversation. I'm not saying
I
that's what it
think
is.
as far as the masses go, if everybody thought they were demons, there would be less of us because that's a pretty hardcore thing to deal with. You
Right.
know, you have possessions, you have your life destroyed, you have your mental faculties destroyed, you have so many fucked up things happening
Right.
throughout that. So I think there'd be less because it wouldn't be so intriguing or fun or rewarding. Like for me, a lot of these things are rewarding because I like helping people, not just on this side, but the other. So that's why I like doing it. But
Right.
what about you?
Oh, shoot, sorry. Honestly,
Don't go
sorry.
away.
Honestly, I think that more people will leave because I think what would end up happening is this, because, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody or talk about anybody in a bad way, But I
Yeah.
feel like there's two types of people in this paranormal field: the not so serious and the people who take it serious. Like there's the people who are in this for another view or for the rush or for the thrill, and there's people who are here to, they're genuinely trying to make a breakthrough. They're genuinely wanting to expand their knowledge and learn and discover new things about the paranormal. And then you have people who are like these YouTubers and people who are, it's like, oh, it's just it's not serious, but it's just more of a, it's not as serious, but they're looking for more of the content side, and that's it. And I feel that once, if it was proven that's what it really was, I think a lot of those people are going to disappear. Not in a
Yeah.
bad way, but they're going to go away because they're like, hey man, this is legit, the real deal. I don't want to mess
Mm-hmm.
with this because it's gonna destroy my life. It could possibly destroy my
This
life if I'm
is
not careful.
serious.
You know what I mean? It's serious shit. So I think a lot of those people are gonna just kind of trickle away, and then they'll move on to something else.
Yeah, and it's funny too that you say that because we have a core group and we have kind of a weekend warrior group. So things we do for shits and giggles, and when we have serious investigations. The only people allowed to go on serious investigations have to come to educational classes that we do. So we'll get together, we'll eat food, and we'll watch videos or we'll go over certain documents or whatever. We'll educate ourselves on how to
Right.
do an investigation, what are the proper techniques, this and this and that and that. If you don't come to those classes, you can't go to somebody's house to do an investigation because guess what? This is very serious business. And if you go in there all willy nilly and you're like, wee this is just fun, it's not for the person that lives there. So you need to know what the fuck you're doing because otherwise you could really mess somebody's life up.
Oh yeah. 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 And then not only that, but if you're not serious about it, or and here's another thing too. I'm not gonna say no names, but one time, this was years ago. It happened to me twice. I heard from two different people. One who was a witness of it, and the second was they were the cause of it. So,
Oh
and I
no.
was on the second one, the cause of it. I was so just, I was like, my blood was boiling. So the first one, I knew this person in the paranormal field who came to me. I was like, hey man, I believe this. I said, what? He goes, this person knew of a team here in Texas who went to a residential case, provided information to the client that they weren't it was they didn't have concrete evidence of their claims or what they were saying to the client, but it was just kind of like, I'm just gonna throw it out there and see what sticks. And the client heard this, and they got so scared and so just,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't know what to do, that the whole family committed suicide. They died. Yeah, and I was like,
So was it
holy.
a murder suicide thing or they
I,
all
I
drank the Kool-Aid or
I don't know, but I just know that they just told me this, and I wasn't there for it. I didn't know anything about it, but I was like, man, that's wild. The second one, oh my God, man, I was, I mean, boiling blood, man. This lady who I used to know, she came to me and told me one time, she's like, hey, because she claimed that she was a medium, right? And she's like,
mm-hmm.
yeah. She tells me, yeah, this woman came to me, and this is the person I'm talking about speaking, right? This woman came to me and was like, she was having this run of bad luck, and I said, well, what did you tell her? What do you think it was? She was like, I told her that she had a demon attached to her, and I said,
Oh
wait, and
my
I said,
gosh,
and I
that's
said,
serious.
I said, wait. I said, did you provide proof or how you came to that conclusion? Like, what steps did you take to find out and to 100% say yes, that this is what it was and why she was experiencing this? Well, I'm a medium, I know this. And I'm like, no, but where is the proof? Like, where? I said, so what happened with the woman? She says, well, she went to a church, to a priest, asked for help. The priest said he couldn't do anything to help her. So this person got so terrified they blew their brains out, killed themselves.
See, you
And
can't do
and
that. You can't say you got a demon
and
because
so
that's
so
like,
so when this happens, this person in question, she goes, "Oh, I'm on my way to the wake, this woman's wake. I'm gonna meet her family." I'm like, and I just was enraged, man. I was like, "So you're the cause of someone killing themselves?" And she was like, and she just stayed quiet. Goes, "So are you gonna explain to her family that's your fault?" She's like, "Well, no." I'm like, "So you're okay going to sleep at night knowing that you provided I mean, nothing. I mean, no concrete evidence, and she took her life. And I said, you know what? I can never in this life talk to you ever again. Like I go, that's disgusting. And I removed myself, and I said, because I don't want that to fall back on me. You know what I mean? And I mean, not that I had anything to do with it, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be associated with someone who did that. And so I just removed myself. But it was just the most horrific. I mean, if I could have, I mean, I hate to say it, but if I could have punched her in the head through the phone, like, I was just really angry because I'm like,
Like
now this
throat
person,
punch.
yeah, I'm like, this is ridiculous. But anyways, just so I'm gonna tell people who are listening, if you are a paranormal investigator or plan on be very, very, very careful what comes out of your mouth, because
Mm-hmm.
people will take it as fact. And if they're in not so good space in their mind, place in their life, it can lead to things. It's like it's there's a cause and effect. So if
Mm-hmm.
the cause is you saying something and the effect is them taking their life, yes, you can't control how people are going to react, but that's why even myself, I'm very, very careful what information I give, because someone could take that one thing you say and run a million miles an hour with it, and take it to a level that it's not supposed to go, and then it falls back on you. So you got to be very
Yeah.
careful.
And this is called an investigation for a reason. You can't just do it once and be like, concrete, this is what it is, or hey, I had a dream, this is what it is.
Right,
That does not work, because people living in this scenario are already under a high amount of stress,
right,
and they're already going through a shitload of stress already. You add that one little straw to the camel's back, you're probably going to break it. Like you said, you have to choose your words wisely. You have to be careful what you say. You can't just, maybe you're thinking something, don't have diarrhea of the mouth and just let it spill out. you
right.
can't you can't do that,
Yeah,
because
you
of
can.
just what you were talking about. Like, that is insane. Now there's more turmoil in the world.
Yeah,
I don't know. That really makes me
that's
sad.
it.
So,
Does it does it?
is there
It's
anywhere
crazy.
to report a medium like that, or somebody that claims to be a medium? Because I know there's people
I
that
don't know.
are not mentally there that are like, I'm a medium, and they run around spouting out shit all the time. And it's like,
Right.
no,
It's ridiculous, and it's sad that this person now, like, I mean, I'm not here to bash him because that's not what I'm about. I'm not. I mean, right or wrong, I'm not here to. That's not my position.
no, but
But
you
it's
got to be
just,
careful.
yeah, you just got to be careful. But anyways, I'm gonna move on from that subject because I don't want to give that person power. Um, but yeah, no. So I have so many stories of.
Jason in the chat room said, it's all demons. That's my good friend I was talking about earlier that thinks it's all demons. I'm not saying, that I disrespect that ideal or whatever. I understand we're all raised a certain way, so we have certain beliefs, but I don't believe it's all demons. I
Right.
know I lost you. Yeah, I still hear you, but your camera went off. But Jason, I still love you. You're still my buddy, but I don't agree with that because of my experiences I've had. You're saying my mom's a demon? No, I don't think so. If so, I'm quasi demon. I should have horns sticking out of my Christmas hat.
Right. So let me ask you this, and I want your honest opinion. If you were able to add or take away or fix something in the paranormal field, what would that be?
I
Honestly, I know.
would say backstabbing. I don't like the way different teams or team members backstab each other. I I love the fact that my team is so diverse. Like, I grew up searching out religion after my mom died. Then I was raised LDS for a while. Then I went to the Marine Corps, and I was able to go to every church that I wanted to, because that's me. I need to know what everybody's saying and trying to find the
Right,
truth. And for me, spirituality and me just having my own relationship with God is the best, because I don't like people looking down their noses at me. But I love that I had that experience. But yeah, I'm not poo-pooing religion. To me, it's kind of like medicine. everybody has their own medicine, whatever works for you. Cool. Fellowship,
Right.
all that good stuff. It's good for you. Just
Right.
don't feel holier than thou. Like, that's when it gets bad.
Right. I think for me, there's this I think what the problem is right now is that a lot of people are not focusing so much on the paranormal, that it's more of the socialness of getting together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of like, and not just that, but there's a lot of egos in this field. There's a lot of people who
Yep.
think like that. And forgive me for saying that, but like, their shit no stink. Like, they think that they're above everybody, or there's it just drives me crazy. I'm like, and I won't say nothing because I don't want to get into the drama with people, or into the
When
arguments.
they
But
say professional, hey, guess what? You're waving your red flag there.
right, right. I see people, and like, one of the things that kind of irks me, and I mean, to each their own, man. I don't care. That's what gets your, whatever you're trying to do. But one of the things that bothers me is that when I've gone to public investigations with people, and all you see them is taking selfies, like, and not even of the investigation. Like, they're just like making, the duck lips, and I'm just like, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, listen, man, did you come for a photo shoot, or did you come to investigate? Like, and they'll take
Are
like
you
15 minutes.
Zoolander?
Yeah, and I'm just like looking at them, and I don't care who it is. I mean, even if it's my own team, I'll call them out. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, did you come for that shit, or did you come to investigate? And like, one time I even lost a friendship because I was asked to be a guest investigator for an event. And at this event, they were all drinking. Like, I mean, and
That is not good.
it was a public place, but everyone was partying. I'm like, wait a second. And here's the thing. I don't drink a lot, and I don't even drink that much in the first place. But to me, whether it's my own team or whatever event, there's for me, I have zero tolerance for drinking, because number one, you're in a position
It's
where you have
dangerous.
you have to be well aware of your surroundings, and since this is a spiritual thing, you can't go in there not fully aware. You know what I mean? You have to be 100% there, and because we have to get the hell out of a location, or run, or something has to happen, and you're kind of like, slow to move and stuff, because of you're under the influence. That's a
Or
bad
like your
mixture.
mind, you
Right.
know. I
And
think. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And then what I did
Okay, sorry.
was,
That was my fault.
I said no, no. I go, at this point, literally. I mean, it was a great location that it was at here in Texas, and I said, you know what? I'm removing myself from this event. I'm leaving home, and it was like a 3-hour drive. I'm like, I'm leaving home, and they're like, what? Why are you leaving? I said, listen, you guys are all partying. I said, I have members of my team and guests who are my guests, who have concealed weapons, and they put these weapons in the rooms, and people kept trying to go into our rooms to look through our stuff. The last thing I need is for one of these people to grab a gun and shoot themselves, or shoot one of us back because they're drunk. I said, I don't need that. I said, so we're
Yeah.
gonna leave. I said, unfortunately, we do not mix alcohol and paranormal. Yeah, well, we
Well,
had
as
a long
far
week
as
and we're tired, and I'm like, that's not an excuse, man.
yeah, we just want to relax, blah blah blah. Okay, so if you go out for a paranormal investigation, you have depression, you have anything, you have an aura. And if you have depression or anything like that, there's going to be a little chink in your armor, which is your aura. That's where parasites or attachments or things can happen. If you drink, that allows little blips in your aura as well, and things can attach that way too. So we used to do the world's largest ghost hunt. We did it for
Hmm.
like 3 years in a row. That's how I gained a lot of members. Like our first team, one died of cancer, one moved away, blah blah blah. Like, it was just me. And then I did that, and we gained a new team, and we went to the Grand Imperial in, I believe it was, I want to say Rico, but it wasn't. And it wasn't Telluride. Holy shit, I can't think of the name right now. But uh people are invited, and we did a drawing, different people came, and that was our number one rule. You can't drink because it can endanger you. Like, if you're otherwise healthy emotionally or whatever else, things can attach to you if you're drunk and you're not totally mindful. It's a danger. Like, it's dangerous. And it's not the
Right.
whole gun thing or anything like that, but it's like you get little chinks in your aura because, like, you're powered up and then all of a sudden there's like it's kind of wonky. Things can attach that way, things can happen. And there was this one lady that was a really good friend of mine, and we haven't talked in a long time because I think she got offended. Sorry, you knew the rules and then you came inebriated. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, I like to drink on the weekends, and I didn't even drink until later on, but you can't do that during an investigation because you're allowing yourself to be open to certain entities.
Right. I've even reviewed. I've even refused a client one time because, even though they were, I mean, understandably they were stressed and they were, going through paranormal stuff. But I told the gentleman that if you drink, and I don't care if it's a drop that hits your tongue, I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna leave. And I showed up and he was plastered. I mean, he was shit faced. And I said, and he couldn't even talk because it was just so jumbled because he was drunk. I said, I told you I wasn't gonna help you if you're drunk, and I'm leaving. And he was like trying to say I'm sorry. We literally got back into our vehicles and we drove off because I'm not gonna, set my clients up or even my team and myself to fail because someone wants to drink, whether it's a client or whoever it is. And I left.
Yeah. Well, Richard here in the comments was saying, I have made people leave investigations, and I should have done that, but I didn't. We did make her leave eventually. Like, at first, she showed up and she just seemed like herself because I think she generally is inebriated. So I didn't notice the difference. And then one of my friends from my team was like, hey, this chick is pretty messed up. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, we can smell alcohol on her. And then, yeah, we had to make her leave because not only can that affect her, but people around her. And we had
Right.
a pretty big crew of people not a part of our crew that night. And so we had to protect the mass. Sorry, you have to leave. You should have read the rules. And one of the rules is you cannot be drinking. But on that note, Mr. Mike, we do have to go to our first music break. So on this break, we have Gravity from Krakow, Poland with Throw You Away and Take a Walk in My Shoes. Then we have Mr. Fred Johnson III from Canyon County, California with Sugar. And then we have Prime Example with Dancing Machine, which is one of my favorites. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break. Oh my goodness, I can't even hear it. All right, so yeah, that's going to be I believe 15, no, I believe it's a 14 minute and 20-second break. So if you need to hit the head, get something to eat or drink, feel free to. And we'll come back right after that. I don't know why this isn't coming through, so I'll just pull it up on my phone so people aren't left in the dark.
And what's that commercial for? For which platform?
It's just music from independent artists that I have from Mr. Roy Washington, who is a member of Prime Example. But yeah. So we just do a music break so we can go to the bathroom, get something to eat or drink or whatever during that time. But yeah, these are shorter breaks than we generally have. And I just know I've watched your show before, and I don't think you guys generally do breaks, do you?
No, because our shows only last an hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Ours lasts 3 hours. So yeah, we got to hit the head or get something to eat or drink.
Yeah, no, ours lasts an hour, and I mean, it's so fast that you're like, oh shit, the hour has came and gone.
I know. And even this one, like, a lot of people are like, oh no, I don't think I can do that show because 3 hours is a lot. And I'm like, you know what? It really moves by really fast. So, you know, don't judge the book by its cover, but
Right.
all right.
Well, in that case, let me go check on the family, and then I'll be
Okay.
right back. So do I
So
just stay
go.
in here? Do I stay in here, or what do I do?
Just turn off your camera, and I'll turn off my camera, and we'll go from there.
All right, I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Waiting here on this cold, lonely night without you. Your tension's overbearing. Wondering, are you coming back home again? To inspire fondness with love. Where did our love go wrong? My sugar. Why did I make you cry? Whispers flow through my mind when I think about you. That warm feeling in me. My heart sings a sad song and just melts away. Please look into my eyes, my sugar. There's life another. sun doesn't shine anymore, I'll be there. Never when time is a memory, I'll know is love. You will always be the one, my sugar. The feeling is so strong. Waiting here on this cold, lonely night without you. Where did our love go wrong, my sugar? So I walk down the street, thinking all the things you said you need. But don't you tell me, baby, how do you feel? So I walk down the street, thinking all the things you said you need. But don't you tell me, baby, how do you feel? Don't you take the walk? Don't you take the walk? My shoes, why don't you take my walk? Before you tell me what you do, don't you take a walk? Don't you take a walk? My shoes, why don't you take a walk? Before you tell me what you do, you know it's easy. Tell me what you do. Yeah, I stopped you there. All the things that I've been through. You know it's easy. Tell me what you do. Yeah, I stepped you in. Things that I've been through. Don't you take a walk? Don't you take a walk? In my shoes, don't you, baby, take a walk? Before you tell me what to do. Don't you take a walk? Don't you take a walk? In my shoes, don't you, baby, take a walk? Before you tell me what to do.
add myself to the stream too. We're back. I don't know.
Oh shit! Hold on, real quick.
CenturyLink. I like to call it Century Stink because, yeah, they really suck ass. I'm kind of looking into the whole Starlink thing because I saw it go straight down my driveway.
Oh really?
What the hell is that? And then I realized it was Starlink.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was a UFO at first, and then I was like, nope, that's Starlink. It's like a little space train.
Right. Okay. Man, I'm so stuffed right now.
That was like that was me on Thanksgiving. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I ate so much, but it was so good. I had to wait.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I had to wait at least 3 hours in order to have dessert, but it was well worth the wait. It was so good.
All I can think about is all the steps I'm gonna have to walk, the bike work, just to burn all this shit off. It's crazy.
I don't know. Do you guys have a Goodwill in your area?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I went and I bought an elliptical, which was priced at like, I think it was 120 or something like that. And when I went to check out with it, it was only 70. So I was like, I might take the other one. Luckily I didn't because I had other bills to pay and that popped up all of a sudden. But
Right.
it's sitting on my front porch ready to use. So I can go for a walk with my dogs or I could just use that damn elliptical.
Right. Yeah.
Way better than a treadmill. Treadmills like freeze my legs up.
Oh, really?
Last time I used a treadmill, yeah, I could not even use my legs. I was like Iron Man walking around. It was not cool.
Like RoboCop.
Yeah, I was like, I can't move my legs.
No, you know that happened to me one time. Are we still live or no?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, so one time, this is like 2014. I was living with one of my aunts, and one day I got this, this urge to work out, and try to drop some weight. And so I went to the garage, and I was like, "What do I do? What do I do?" So I'm like looking at workouts, and I found this. It was like a what was it? A squat thing to do squats, and I hadn't worked out. I didn't stretch. I just went straight into the squats, and I'm doing squats, right? And I think I did like maybe like 100 squats, and I hadn't done in a long, ever probably. And I'm like, doing the squats, and I hit 100, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. I had a little soreness. I was fine. The next day, I woke up in the morning, and no lie, I wake up, and my legs are fucking, they're locked, like they're
Dude,
so
yeah.
sore. Like I
That's me
tried
on the
to get, I
treadmill.
tried to get out of bed, and like my legs were just stiff straight. Like I had to you know what I mean? Like RoboCop, I couldn't bend my knees.
Yeah, I was like,
I tried to sit down, and I threw myself in the sofa, just like leaned over and just fell because I couldn't bend my legs. It hurt so bad.
you're like, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me on the treadmill. It's like so unnatural to me. So is running, but you have your natural process when running, but on a treadmill, you're kind of forced to go that certain speed instead of like, in the military, they called it Indian run. So you'd run really fast to get in front of the line, and then you run slower, and everybody else would go in front of you. Then you had to run really fast, get up there, and run back. Elliptical, is just like,
Right,
it's a
right.
good procession of your legs. Everything is in order, blah, blah, blah. I will not ever do a treadmill again. After that one time, like you said, when my shit froze up and I'm like, I can't even get up. I can't even walk correctly. Like when I try to squat to get on the toilet, it's bad. Everything's bad about this.
Yeah, it's horrible. I'm not sure if you hear me, but your camera froze. You froze. Hello. I'm not sure what happened. I'm the only one in the show. All right, I'll share some stories, okay? So hopefully she comes back soon, but I'm gonna share a story real fast. So back in when I first founded MPS back in April of 2008, and I remember at this time, I had experiences growing up, with the paranormal, but I never attempted to ever go look for it, because I was just like, I mean, yeah, those little things that happened where I wanted to document this, I wanted to record as a kid, but never, that the thought crossed my mind about being an actual investigator to investigate the paranormal and go look for it. And I remember one time my mom, she had reached out to me and told me that she moved into this duplex here in San Antonio on the west side, pretty rough area. Sorry, excuse me, too much food. She tells me, can you come to my new apartment or my new place because I keep hearing kids talking in the middle of the night in my kitchen. And I said, well, mom, you live in an area where there's a lot of kids that play at night. Maybe it's your neighbors, they're up at night really late. And so what you think is in your kitchen is it's just a sound traveling. No, no, no. I can hear them moving and talking and moving in the kitchen. I can hear the sounds. It's super close. I said, no, I said, well, I'm very busy. You know, I I'm not sure when I can take the time to go. So one day I got off. I was able to get off from my job to go and finally show up and go check out this, her duplex. And for those who don't know what a duplex is, it's one location, like a one house, and it's broken down into. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I was buffering. Hopefully you
Yeah,
carried the show.
you're talking. You're like, and then you just froze, and it was game over. Yeah, I was sharing a
You
story,
like
then
the
I stopped.
smile?
The creepy girl.
The smile. Now you're done. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Oh, you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Were you able to hear me the whole time?
No, not till just now when you started talking. You can restart if you want to.
Okay, so I'll explain, what the duplex is. And so the duplex, for those who don't know what that is, it's one house or one location it's broken down to multiple living quarters for people. And my mom had just moved into this duplex, and she had mentioned this whole thing that she was hearing kids and movements in the kitchen. And so finally I got off from work. I went to visit and check out the duplex, and this is like 2008. And I remember going over to her duplex, and it's an old rundown like just area. And the driveway, it's not too long of a driveway, but it's long enough. And when you pull up to the house, it looks like a house out of out of a scary movie. It just looks really old and like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like.
Yeah.
and
Jason
and
said he just keeps saying hello like he's stuck in the wilderness alone.
I,
Sorry about that.
and
CenturyLink.
and so it's myself and two people with me, and it's about 6 p.m., so it's still daylight, and I go up to the door. Actually, there's two doors in front of the house. One of them has this big old like a lock over the handle over the door, where the door handle. So I said, okay, that's not the one. And there's one to my left facing me, and I walk up to the door, and like imagine the screen door is locked, but the actual door inside is open, so you can kind of like look into the screen. You can see inside the house. And from where I'm at, you can only see so much of the walk, that hallway where I'm at. I can see this mirror on the wall. I can see this little small table, and I can see wooden floors. And I said, I knocked really hard, boom, 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 and bang on the door. I said, Mom, I'm here. Can you open the door? And a moment later, I hear my mom, I guess, coming out from the distance and from another area of the house. And she says, hold on, don't leave. I'm getting my shoes. Please don't leave. Just give me a second. And so when I hear her voice and she says this, I turn my back to the door, and I go rejoin the people who are with me. And we're there, whatever. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at the neighbor's yard, or the neighbor's fence, and I noticed he had a sheet metal privacy fence, which is kind of weird for the area. And the porch that we were on, was kind of higher than normal, so I can look over the fences in the neighbor's yard. I noticed that he had car parts all over the house, all over the yard. I say he's either a mechanic or he works with vehicles in some way. And so my eyes are fixated on the fence, and my eyes are moving from looking forward to the right, and like, I'm following the fence all the way back to where it meets and let me know when you gotta interrupt me and talk about, coming back from the breaker. I don't know if you're still on break or not, but um my eyes meet the end of the fence, and there's a brown pole that the wires run, the electricity wires. And my mom comes walking from around that corner. And she's just like, "Hey, what are you doing here? I was calling you, but you weren't answering your phone." And I'm like, "Wait a second. Hold up, player." I'm like, "How did you go from being
Lord.
I'm like, how did you go from being in the house to coming from the opposite direction of the house?"
You're like, wait a minute, this does not add up.
Right. And she was like, "Well, you see, it's like two houses down. There's like a little corner store." She, "You see that corner store right there?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's where I was at. I was calling you to your cell phone, but you weren't answering." So I pulled my cell phone out. No missed calls, no nothing. We're showing that she was calling me. And so, I'm like, "Hey, well, where's Freddie at?" That was her at the time boyfriend, not anymore. But I was like, "Where's Freddie at?" "Oh, he's in the back barbecuing." Let me tell you something, man. I don't care what part of the world you're from. When someone is grilling or barbecuing of some kind, you
Oh
will
yeah.
smell that. You will smell that
You're like,
charcoal or wood.
there's a
Or
barbecue somewhere. I
yeah,
need to
you
go this
smell it.
direction.
I don't care what direction you're gonna smell it from. I mean, who knows
Oh,
how
we're gonna
far?
go that way.
Right. But in this case, there was no sign or smell or smoke of anything going on. And I'm like, Where's he? Where's he grinning at, across the neighborhood? Like, where is he at?" "No, he's in the back of the house." So we walked to the back of the house, and it wasn't until we crossed to the end of the back of the house, and we kind of came out to the opening in the back, the smoke hit us. Boom. Like, almost like something was blocking the smell. It was really weird. It was really odd. And so, and I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. So before that happens, she walks up, and I said, "Mom," I go, "we heard you talking from the door." She says, "What do you mean?" I said, "You were talking through the door, and then you come from the opposite way for the house." She was like, "No, I was at the store." So I go, "Come here, come to the door." So she walks to the door with me. I knock on the door again. Boom, boom, boom. I said, "Mom, it's taking forever. Come on, open the door." My mom's to my left, and we're looking at the front door. So there's no possible way that she could be talking from within the house, right? So as she's standing next to me, we both clearly hear her voice come from the house. And she said, "I said for you to wait. I'm getting my shoes. Don't leave. Just wait." My mom looks at me. I look at her, and she was like, "I effing told you that it's haunted here. Didn't I tell you?" And I was blown away. And that's when we, found out that Freddie was cooking in the backyard barbecuing. So we go back there, and the whole time that everyone's, kind of talking and we're eating, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about what's in this house. What is, this number one, this thing is intelligent because it's mimicking my mom's voice to the T. And I'm like, what is this thing? How did it get here? Why is it here? And so, we finally did the it was midnight finally. I said, "Look, stay in your room, don't come out. And if you do anything in your room, whether you get up from the bed, if you take your shoes off, just say, 'I'm taking my shoes off. I'm getting up from the bed,' just so we can label that it's you or it's one of us and not the spirits. I want to better distinguish between the two." And so we had a recorder going, we had a camera going, and we did a walk through the house to make sure there's nothing that can physically harm us. And one of the things that we noticed is that all the rooms of the house were like if someone just came in and they just finished renovating the place, where white walls, they just
The
finished doing the
smells.
sheetrock. Yeah, like it was like almost as if they just finished the rooms, like they were just got done. For some reason the windows were nailed shut for whatever reason. Um, and out of all the rooms, they all had white doors except for this one room had a red door. So you know what? Let's go in there. Let's start there. So
You're
we,
gonna
we
go in
go
the
in,
red door.
right. So we go in there and we're sitting down on the floor across from each other, myself and this guy who was no longer on my team. And we were sitting there and we're looking at each other. And I said, look, normally we kind of we'll walk around, we'll find a spot, we'll ask questions, we'll do our thing. I said, this time let's just sit here. Let's not say a word, like nothing at all. Let's just stay quiet and let whatever's here comes to us and kind of want to acknowledge us and find out who we are. One second. Hold on. I'm going to tell my sister bye. One second. My sister's about to leave. Hold on.
Oh no.
Hold on. She's supposed to be a prospect for my team. I love her so much, man. One second.
Well, yeah, have her come in too and say hi and bye
Hey,
and whatever.
I,
Like
I
it's all
love you.
good.
I love
Hi,
you. I love you. Be
sister.
careful. I'm on a show right now. Bye. I love you.
Hi, sister.
It smells all like barbecue right now.
You're like,
No,
now I'm getting hungry.
I open the windows like no, but so we're in this room, we're sitting down, we're minding our own business. And actually, you know what? Hold on. You know what? Let me do this. Hold on for a second. Let me go back into the house and let me get on my actual my computer. Is that okay?
If we can wait till next break, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's fine. So
Okay.
am I able to keep talking or do you want me to stop now?
Yeah, keep talking.
Okay, you're like talk, motherfucker. Nah.
Yeah,
Um,
you got another 24 minutes.
watching out. No. And so
Come on, Chickale. Let's go.
so we're sitting there and it's completely quiet, right? And as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, what is this entity? Like, what is it? Like, why, how's it able to mimic my mom's voice? Like, is this thing powerful? Is it a human thing? Is it inhuman? Like, what is this thing? That's all I keep thinking about. And I'm sitting there,
Survey says Jason says demons.
right? Got demons, motherfucker. And so I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, before I can continue my thoughts, we hear walking coming from the front door where I was initially when I first got there, coming down the hallway in our direction. And what it sounds like is somebody coming walking with heavy boots on or some kind of heavy shoe or something. And it doesn't help that the whole damn place is super quiet, so everything sounds louder than what it
It's
is.
Christopher Walken. I'm just
Christopher.
kidding.
And and so sorry, that was just coming off guard. Sorry. And Jesus, man.
Walking in a winter wonderland. No, yes, Christopher Walken.
and so we're we hear the footsteps coming towards us, and all I kept thinking was, you know what? My mom's boyfriend at the time, he had this bad habit that he just loved to do those jump scares and like jump out from somewhere and scare the shit out of you. And so I
Yeah.
said, you know what? He's pranking us.
My dad used to do that too.
Yeah, I'm like, he's doing something. He's up to no good. So the guy who was in the room, I looked at him and I'm kind of whispering, like under my breath, like when he comes closer to the door, we're gonna jump up and we're gonna, you know, intercept him and open the door and scare him. He goes, okay. So the footsteps are getting closer, and right when it's getting closer to the door, we kind of slowly get up from the floor. We kind of like make our way to the door, and right when the footsteps stop in front of the door, we rip that door open. And right when we rip it open, there's nobody there. And
I
I
know.
look
You look everywhere. There's nothing.
and I look out and I look to the left. I see my camera facing the hallway where we're at. I look to the right and it's just the hallway wall. And I'm like, what the f? And so I close it. I close the door and I look at the guy that was there with me. I said, something's staying there, man. And he was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to do? I said, well, let's ask it questions, right? He's like, okay. So I said, you know, my name is Mike. This is, whoever the person was with me that time. I said, we don't mean you no harm. My mom was letting me know that she's experiencing some stuff. And so we want to come and figure out how we can help you so you can move on from this location. Maybe you're having trouble leaving, or maybe you're a past owner who is kind of curious. So who's this person in your house? And so we want to get to the bottom of things. And so I'm asking all these questions, and the guy who's with me goes, "Hey man, let's open the door and let's take photos, let's take pictures, let's see if it come on camera." I said, "Do you mind if we take a picture of you? I'm not sure if you know what a picture is, but can we take a picture of you? We have a
It's
device
nice
here
that
that."
you ask because a lot of people don't. They just click, click, click.
Right,
When you ask, you're more likely to get something.
right. And so I said, I go, this device, you'll see a bright flash if you're able to see the flash, and it's gonna capture a photo of you if you show yourself to me. I go, can you do that, please? I said, if it's okay that I take a picture, can you bang on the wall once if you're okay with it? If you do not want me to take a picture of you, bang twice. I go, let me give you an example of how to do this. I bang once, I go boom as hard as I can. That means yes, I can. If you don't want me to, bang twice. And right as my arm's about to swing to bang the wall, it goes boom, boom. I mean, the loudest. And mind you, I had never, this was my first ever investigation like this. So when that thing banged twice, I literally jumped back, and
Ugh.
I almost shot myself. I was like,
Yeah, that's how I'd
holy
be like,
cow.
ah! You don't
Because
expect a
I
response,
wasn't,
but when you
yeah,
get
yeah,
one,
you
it's just
don't,
like,
yeah. And so when this happens, I'm just, I'm blown away, right? Because I'm like, I mean, this is the real deal, and so I said, okay, don't worry. We're gonna respect your wishes, but if we can't take pictures of you, can you at least talk to us? Because that's the only way we're gonna help you is if you talk. And the guy next to me goes, you know what? F this. I'm still gonna take photos of this thing. He rips the door open, goes out into the hallway, and starts flashing, boom, boom, boom. And I pull him hard. I go, get your ass over here, man. And he's like, what, man? Why are you doing that for? I said, if we piss this thing off and it retaliates, we cannot physically put our hands on it to stop it. This is a spiritual thing. You cannot physically stop this thing. And he looks at me and he goes, you're right. I'm sorry. And so he starts apologizing. And the crazy part is when he does this, you can hear whatever's there start walking away from us.
wicked.
And it starts walking away from us. And so all of a sudden, we're apologizing. Look, man, we're both just very excited. We've never experienced it before in this manner. Can you please come back? We want to talk to you and figure out how we can set some rules, or, something to where my
Some
mom can be in peace
guidelines.
living here, or you having to leave, and so it starts coming back. This time, I don't know if it wanted to scare us or what its intention was, but when it starts walking back to me or to us to where we're at, this time we can hear something dragging against the wall. I'm not saying like Freddy Krueger, I'm not saying like Freddy Krueger knives or anything, but it's not like
No, like
a
dragging a
scraping,
body
like
or
something that's
something.
yeah, like if it
Yeah.
was like rubbing against the wall, walking towards our
Ugh.
direction. And I'm freaking the F out, man. I'm hearing this and it was loud enough where it's like like just scraping against the wall. And my heart is like boom, boom, boom. I mean, it's
Hmm.
racing. And at that moment, I start questioning the whole thing. I'm like, Mike, is this something you want to continue doing? Like, do you foresee yourself doing this? And I'm like, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I would be lying to you if I would say I wasn't scared, because I was really scared. And
I'd be shitting my pants. I would
yeah,
have
and
to
and
change my red pants and change into my brown.
right, and so, but then at that moment when that happens to me, and there's nothing wrong with when you question yourself, should you be doing this? Because it's just a natural thing to think. At that moment, I reminded myself being there as a killed my mom and my siblings, and seeing my mom cry, and remembering the times when we went through things and nobody was there to hear us. Nobody was there to help us find resolution. I reminded myself why I'm doing this. It's not for fun. It's not for some sort of game. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's
to
not
change
shits
to
and
help
giggles.
people,
This is
right?
fucking serious.
It's just to help people, man. Imagine I'm one person. Imagine all the other people are currently going through this, and they need somebody to help them. So I say, you know what, Mike? You know what? It's gonna be okay. You have a belief system. You believe in God, and God's the Almighty. So if God's the Almighty, and there's something that can overthrow Him, and He's not having your back, what's there to be afraid of? You know what I mean?
Nothing.
Like nothing. Not that you want to be,
No, and that's what I tell people
reckless.
too. Like, you should not fear this because you are more powerful. Even though it scares the shit out of you and you feel like it's more powerful, you have the light of Christ or God or whatever you want to think of it as. You have that light within you. That's why you have this aura. You are more powerful than this being. This being wants you to think it's more powerful than you.
Right. But yeah, so this happens, and the fear at that point was gone. Like it wasn't like I'm fearless, but it was like, because I want to understand this. How are you going to understand something when you allow fear to be the dictator
Dominator.
or the dominator?
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And so we wrapped up. We thanked whatever was there talking to us, and then we left. And I told him, listen, we'll be back. I'm gonna. At the time, I didn't have. I mean, I only had three other members at the time in the team in the beginning. I didn't have a cleanser. I didn't have none of that. So I was like, let me find somebody who would be willing to cleanse. My
So
mom
you
said,
don't do
okay.
it yourself, you have somebody else go in to cleanse?
Well, no, no, no. At the time, we
Oh,
didn't have.
okay.
We didn't. I didn't even. I mean, to me, it's like I didn't want to go into a location and attempt something that I didn't have the knowledge of doing,
And
because
aggravate it,
yeah, a lot of people do that. They just kind of go with no knowledge, and they try to, play like they might
mess
be
it
like
all up.
yeah. No. So anyway, so I left at the time, and I found somebody. And then they say, yeah, give me about 2 weeks and I'll go. So I go home that night. It was about 1 in the morning. I'm falling asleep, and the guy who was there with me, he's reviewing the audio, the recorder. And there's a point where I had asked, "Is there something here? Is there something here preventing you from communicating with us?" And in that moment, you hear a voice come through, and the response was, "It's evil."
Yeah.
And I was like, hold, but of course it was a whisper, right? It's evil. And I was like, holy cow. And this is
And
when
it's
things kind of
crazy too, and I hate to interrupt, but, like, there's different entities there. There can be a more powerful, like, darker one or whatever, and these other
Mhm.
ones try to speak, and sometimes that's how they come through is a whisper. It's
Right.
evil. It just wants you to hear that message so you know. Because the more predominant one, that is the darker entity, will be louder. So you hear
Hmm.
that more often than you do the quieter one. But yeah, you need to listen to that still small voice, whether it's, your whole Holy Ghost or your inner light or whatever. It will tell you. I don't know. That freaks me out.
And so at that moment, when it says that, what was really strange and what kind of blew us away was every a minute will go by and they would say evil. A minute will go by and they would say evil. It is 6 times. And I was like, what the heck is this? Like, and then eventually just stopped. But we said, at the time, one of my original founding members of NPS, he was my original tech manager. He the biggest skeptic on this planet, man. I mean, this guy was very
Yeah.
skeptical. Which
It's good to have a
there's,
skeptic.
yeah,
It's a healthy little
there's
medium.
yeah, healthy skeptic. But this guy was like, I mean, it was just hard for him to believe. And so I invited him to come out with us to check it out. And he was like, man, I don't want to waste my time. I want to, I'm like, no, I go, please come. I promise you it's not a waste of time. So he finally makes the effort to come. And it's my mom's house. He knew my mom very well. And, my mom, uh, we're there talking, and we finally get down to while we're there. And what happens? Nothing. Like, we're there all the time. We're
It's
trying
like
to make the
complete
thing come out,
silence.
and nothing's happening. And he goes, see, I told you I didn't want to waste my time. I said, no, man, listen. And he goes, no, no, no. He goes, this thing, you talked about it. It was this, and it ain't doing nothing. And then he starts like almost provoking and taunting. Like not, it's not like he said.
Oh,
It's not like
he's
he was
like
like
building the fire.
right. Like he's like throwing cheap like low blows without directly saying it to whatever's there. And
Putting
and
some
I'm
wood
like,
on fire.
And then we're in the middle of the hallway, right near the door. That's a red door, and the door was open in the
I
room,
told you I had a feeling about that red door.
like the door was open in the room, right, and the door was against the wall, and we're standing there, and if I'm facing the guy who's in front of me, the founding member of my team was to the right of me, and if I look towards him, I can see behind him into the room. He's standing there, and I'm talking to the guy directly across from me, and the guy who's to my right is looking at us. So we're talking amongst ourselves, and the guy who's to the right of me goes, "I'm gonna do a cigarette break. I'm gonna go outside." He's like, "You know what? This place ain't really haunted. This is all a lie." And all of a sudden, we're standing there, and the door because it's behind him against the wall, and we hear like the door it never made this it never made this noise once, and it goes and it starts like slowly moving. It's making that whiny noise, and we stop. We're saying we look behind him, and you said the door behind him moving towards him, and when it gets
Ugh.
halfway close to him, it slams against the wall. Boom! And this guy was a small, petite guy. He flew like he flew towards me like he jumped
Like
so high. I
Superman.
almost I almost caught him in my arms. It was the funniest. Like it was funny, but also like that fight or flight came on. We all wanted to run out the house, and he was like, I said, "Bro, I told you, man. It was there the whole time, listening, talking all that smack, and it scared the f out of you." And he was like, "Dude, this is the real deal. Like, I told you, man. I told you." And so, finally, my mom was like, "Listen, did you find somebody who can cleanse?" I said, "Yes, we need to wait one more week and then they'll come in and cleanse." We leave, and my mom's like, "Listen, I can't do this anymore. It's becoming too much." And so she moved out before they can go cleanse the house. And it was unfortunate because,
Oh, really? Your mom
yeah,
had
because,
enough.
yeah,
She's like, I'm done.
I've passed by that place like every so often when I'm in that area, I'll go past by. And I was one day when I go by there, I'm gonna take a picture of it and I'm gonna send you the picture so you can see the house. But it's like, you
And I'll tell
know,
you what I pick up on it. But yeah, I can drive by houses today and be like, that place is definitely haunted. I want to go there.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I have the equipment that I have and the team that I have, if I had the opportunity to go back and it was still haunted, I would go in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and especially like you can knock on the door and be like, "Are you guys having issues? Can we come in and investigate?" You can't just be like, "Hey, we're coming in to investigate." You have to get the permission of that person. But seriously, like I don't know if you get that same thing, you can just drive by a place and look at it and be like, "I want to go there. That place is
Right.
definitely haunted." I know, you just got the feelers.
But yeah, that's what happened. One of my many stories.
That's awesome. No, there's places around here that I haven't hit up, and it's just because, I'm socially awkward and I don't know what to say. Hello, Mr. Morris. Merry Christmas in Scotland. But yeah, I'll drive by a place, and some places have been renovated, and I wonder, like, what sort of hell did they go through to renovate that place? Because even before they did it, and it was in total despair, like you could totally pick up on the energy. But
Right.
it's pretty intriguing that these places do exist, and just the denial that exists within people there, whether they're non-believers or not. But yeah, you were talking about the skeptic that was on your team. I like that because it's kind of like you have the positive cable, the believers, and you have the negative cable, and those are the grounders. So the people that don't believe help to keep you grounded and getting like way up in the spaces you could be. I don't know, they kind of keep you equal
Mhm.
or whatnot in certain aspects. But I don't know, I love having a diversity of team and having a skeptic. My husband claims to be a skeptic. I don't believe him because I know he's had experiences. He's a believer, but he's like, nope, I'm a healthy skeptic. And I'm like, okay. But we've had other people on our team that are actually healthy skeptics.
Right.
But it does
I have
help
the
to keep
same
you
cup.
grounded. Yeah. Oh, you
I have
do?
Yeah, I have that
I
same
got
one I
this
got
at,
from a spirit store.
yep, me too. Spirit of Halloween. I will not use a
Hey.
Ouija board. I did once. I got to talk to my mom, and it was the most amazing conversation ever about the afterlife. Um, and it was crazy because I was in the Marine Corps at the time, and I was in a platoon that was called the Broken Platoon, and they're using a Ouija board, and I'm just watching them. They're like, "You want to join us?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna watch." And they're using it, and then I get on there, and I'm like, "Can I talk to my mom?" And it said no, and I was like, "Well, fuck you then. I ain't gonna do this. I'm gonna go take a
Right.
shower." And then I came back from the shower, and it's sitting there on my rack. For those of you that don't know, the rack is my bed. Nobody's around. And I didn't know the rules of you can't do it alone or you shouldn't do it alone. And so I get on there and it automatically was like moving around everywhere. It was like, say hello to Gary, Greg, Kathy, John, blah, 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 your dad. I guarantee that was my mom. Like, I was so excited about it. She was telling me that she can be anywhere she wants, anytime she wants. That's when I asked her, "Are you with me?" And she's like, "Yes, I can be anywhere I want, anytime I want." "Are you happy?" "Yes." I don't know, so many different things. And the next day I called my dad and I told him about it. And he's the one that was like, "Hey, I believe this stuff does exist, but this could be a spirit trying to entrap you and trying to make you think that's your mom." And I was like, "Rah, rah." It made me feel like not so excited. But I know without a doubt I was talking to my mom, but I haven't ever used a Ouija board since. Um, I've been offered to by my mentor and other people, and I'm like, "I'll record it or, I'll be there when it's done, but I'm not going to partake." And she's like, "Never mind." So, yeah, I did it one time, one and done. But that was the best time ever for me because I do believe I was talking to my mom, even though my dad said it could be something trying to entrap me. I do believe it was my mom. Just the energy from it, just the messages that I was getting from it, etc. Although after I did use the Ouija board was the first time I had sleep paralysis.
Right.
Have you had that?
No, never had sleep paralysis. I never had that ever. I've heard other people who've had it, and I'm like, thank God I've never experienced like that. I think that would freak me the hell out.
Yeah, it was crazy. So it was Hurricane Bonnie, Ouija board, and then we were lining up for chow, which is lunch or dinner, whatever you're going to. But at this point, it was lunch, and I went in, washed my hands, and then came out, and I was so tired, so drained that I laid down on the rack right outside of the bathroom. It was not my rack; it was somebody else's. It was nobody's, basically. So I laid on there, fell asleep. And then I heard my staff sergeant call us to lunch, and I couldn't move. Like, I tried to jolt up, but I couldn't. I was just frozen. But before that happened, I had this dream. I was going into the head, which is the bathroom, and I felt like I was extremely drunk, just like my astral thing that happened. I felt like I had to lean on things to walk and stuff. So I'm leaning on the wall. I'm going over, I'm leaning on the sinks and stuff, and I'm flirting with the guys that are in there because I'm single at this point. And then I hear the staff sergeant call us, and I'm trying to get up and I can't move. My eyes are open. I can see the girls running out of the head. I can see everybody going. I can't move. I can't move. I'm fighting, fighting, fighting because I know if I don't get in formation, I'm in trouble. And so I'm fighting with all my willpower to get up and go, and I can't. And then all of a sudden, I break free. I'm able to get up and get into formation. For at least a week, I was so sore because of all the muscle tension that I used to do that. So that was freaky. And then it didn't happen again until I think it was 2010. It happened again, but only twice have I had it. So I think it's something other than like things that happen to people generally. I think it was something more spiritual, like dark entities or whatever.
Right. And not to change the subject, but What are your thoughts on these bad boys right here? You ready? And for those who are watching, I don't know if you ever used these before, but I'm gonna share it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
What is that? Is that a
Death whistle.
death whistle?
Yeah, Aztec death whistle. Like, I'm gonna blow it. You ready?
You should
Let's see.
blow it. I'm ready. I'll cover my mouth.
Let's see if I can, if it's gonna be loud or not. It's loud.
Not too loud, but I can still hear it.
The
Do
phone.
it again, like really
You know
hard.
you know what's so, well, I was doing it hard, but it was so weird. As on my phone, whenever there's like loud sounds,
Mhm.
my it's almost like a noise canceling thing. It lowers the
The
loudness
volume.
for some reason. But I'll blow it again. Let's see. And if you're in person, it's so much louder. Here you go. For some reason, the phone like just makes the sound not sound so loud.
Yeah. All the different notes and shit that come through, like
But it's crazy. Like, Robert, one of my investigators, he introduced me to the death whistles, and at first I was like, "What the hell is that?" And he explained to me how what they were initially used for. The Aztecs would use them,
mhm.
and and you could, it comes down to intentional how you want to use them. They could be used to conjure things up, and I don't say conjure them, but like amplify the energy to wake things up, so to speak.
Right.
And then it can also be used to ward things off. It has many different things you can do. Just again, the intention, right?
Mhm.
And so I have a contact who he's in Mexico, and these things, like I said, they're handmade. I mean, these things are
And it's Aztec, right?
Aztec death whistles, and the cool thing is they're handmade, hand painted, handmade in Mexico. And so if you don't want to use its purpose, you can just have it as like a collectible. You know what I mean? But these, and I had a batch of them, and they were just for my collection. And then one day I was like, you know what? I wonder if anybody else would be interested in these things. I posted on Facebook, and literally within 1 hour, they were all sold out. Like, I mean, I was mailing them out through the mail and meeting up people here locally, and they were all
No,
completely gone.
seriously. There's like a lot of interest in that. Holy shit. Sorry. So we do have to go to our second music break. So will give us time to hit the head. Guess what? This break is 13 minutes and 13 seconds long. If you're superstitious, this could be an unhealthy break. If you're not, a lot of people think of this as a lucky number. So we have Gravity with Last Goodbye. And Gravity is from Krakow, Poland. We also have Dan Medina, who was originally a member of Krakow, Poland, and he's going to be singing I Won't Let You Go. It kind of reminds me of like a 50s genre song. Then we have Prime Example with Power Play, and then Fred Johnson III, one of my favorites, with After Dark. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break. Alrighty, so 13 minutes and 13 seconds long.
Now what I'm gonna do is let me run inside and get to my actual desktop. Okay.
Okay, you got
I'll be
plenty
right
of
back.
time. All
I'll
right,
be right
see you
back.
soon.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am, knocking at your door again. Running in circles, losing my head. I never been good enough for you. So why can't you see anything I do? Say you can save me. So why don't you try? No again. Running circles, losing my head. I never been good enough for you. So why can't you see anything I do? You say you can save me, so why don't you try it? What you tell me? Tonight I'm gonna say my last goodbye. Say you can save me, so why don't you try? No matter what you tell me, tonight I'm gonna say my last goodbye. My last goodbye. Things can't be unsaid. Streets of these are going to dead end. Listening to waves on windy days. Standing by the wall, making sense of it all. So alone in the dark, all alone in the dark, all alone in the dark. So alone in the dark. 'Cause I won't let you go. You're so far away. Always with my soul. I won't let you go. You're so far away. Always with me in my soul. Yeah, yeah. Looking for a reason, not a lead. Mystified, lives inside a world selling us all. She's alone in the dark, all alone in the dark, all alone in the dark, so alone in the dark. 'Cause I won't let you go. Always by my side. Won't let you go. You're so far away. Always with me in my soul. Yeah, yeah. Won't let you go. circumstances of life going crazy because I tried everything under my hat and I found all my plans were killed standing back. I need a hero. A real life to come around, to step in, to see me and deliver a power play. Something to raise my head from the dust. It's the dust I find someone whom I can trust. I must grow in knowledge, live what I learn. I'm so glad to meet you. Yo, my name is Bird. Lead me any way that you're willing and I'll share. I need your power play. Here comes another one. It's so good to be clothed in your right mind. Trips to the front and all ass behind. Memories of things you did so absurd. Can't see the curve, I heard the word. It's often a little line. Problems and rights, but the power from God, yo, we all stand victorious. Listen to the seed, the knowledge and digest the rhythm because a truth like Jay keeps the brightest. And it's just upon the sound of a vocalist like just your brother. Your ideas like dangerous trouble. Trouble if you want it, peace if you with it. Never before known of a man who can stand it, but something relevant. So kick it in if you will, Lord. And I'll shield. I need your power play. Yeah. Here comes another one. Powerful living, powerful expressing, powerful in knowledge, and now you're not guessing. When power meets the darkness, the devil's got you go. That's my that weasel, and now he's going loco. If you got a problem, God can solve it. Powerful material, and you're in his outfit. Why must the fish stay dirty so filthy? Get off your rear and whitewash the pigments. Power for cleansing, power for sanitizing, power for us, power for the rising of the sun. It's in your darkest hour you can look up and express it to feel the power up. I need your power play. Yeah. Cause another one.
Take me to a college scene. I like to go and dance, have drinks, and hunt the perfect day. Yeah. Living at the door. I should clothing things to find. Hidden shadow. It doesn't matter what I say. Secret thoughts arranged in a series of pursuits. No matter what I say, after dark, I gave up faith because she had the ring. I knew she was the one that never could go home again. Plastic like my limo seats, I don't know why I can't control this hurt again. Yeah. Living at the door, I should slowly break the fight. Hidden shadow in the dark. It doesn't matter what I say. Just because no matter what I say, after dark. It doesn't matter what I say. It really doesn't. No matter what I say. After dark.
I'm going to turn that down because it really doesn't matter what I say. Especially after dark. Welcome back, Mike.
Hello, hello.
I love your shirt. Pink Floyd is my
Oh,
fave.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, I got to go back in. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us this evening on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. On that break, we had Gravity from Krakow, Poland. We had Prime Example from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't know if you guys know about an extra special person called Mr. Alice Cooper. He's from the same area, but Roy Washington, our musical host, is from that same area. And yes, he has shared so much music with us, including Mr. Fred Johnson the Toid from Canyon County, California. It's amazeballs to have all that music here for our break instead of commercials. I don't know about you, Mike, but I can't stand commercials, but I do love music. So that's an extra special change for me.
Right. For some reason, I'm not sure what it is, but your screen looks really like it's getting really I don't know. It seems like really fuzzy or.
Oh, did I get too close? Maybe.
No. It's
Is
like
it better?
it seems really like the I don't know. It just looks really weird.
Yeah, I tried to do the cut to see if that would help. Like, to me, it looks clear, but it could be all messed up. Could be my internet connection. Like I said, instead of CenturyLink, I like to call it Century Stink. Yeah.
Gotcha. No worries.
So hopefully it'll clear up. So am I like gigabyted or what's going on?
Yeah, like pixelated real bad. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's like really, really bad.
Oh.
Like
Well,
almost so your eyes like they're so close. You can't see your eyes.
Oh, that's because I'm stoned. I'm just winkied. No, I'm just kidding.
But besides that, I mean, I can hear you. I mean, it's all that matters, I guess.
Okay, so River was saying, I had to run into the store. What are the whistles for? The death whistle? He missed the explanation. So yes, it was the Aztec death whistle.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of them here in front of me now. Like I have
It's a call of war.
See this one here?
It's supposed to scare the opposition.
So I have this one here. I also have, look at this massive one.
So did you blow both of them? I like that one. That looks like the Chinese dragon head. Did you blow them both?
And look at this one. Look.
Do one after the other. Could you blow one and then blow the other?
And you can see the little faces in there. You see that?
Yeah.
Like this is a mask it's wearing.
So could you blow one and then blow the other and see if there's a difference in sound?
Yeah, I'm not gonna blow too hard, but I'm gonna let you hear it. You ready? There's that. I want more of a breathy one.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. Let me blow this one.
Oh, yes.
You hear the difference?
Yeah.
And then let's see. And this one I hear, this one's cool. This is an owl looking one.
Ooh.
Like watch.
Yeah, that's more like the train.
But they for those who have never seen or know what the Aztec death whistle is for, at one time the Aztecs, they did a lot of rituals and sacrifices and stuff, and so the theory behind it was that they would
try to get, almost like they're preparing the afterlife, the spiritual realm, to kind of be prepared to welcome whatever sacrifices, kind of like amplify again the energy in the air to get them ready
And I
for
kind
what's
of
about
think
to
of it
happen.
like a dog whistle. So, like, dogs can hear certain things from a dog whistle than we can. So maybe spirits can hear something else from the death whistle than we can.
Right. And so, again, it comes down to intention, right? Like, what is your intent? And so they can be used to, to kind of attract things, and they can also be used to ward things off, And also, if you want to do any of those things, and especially no sacrifices here, it's a sacrifice friendly zone, right? You can collect them and just, have them on top of your desk, whatever. But these things are really awesome. And like I said, these are all, if you look at all of them, they're all hand painted, man. I mean, it's
I
not like
love them. They're so
not mass
pretty. Like,
produced. You know what I mean? It's like they're beautiful, man. I mean, it's
yeah,
really
and I've
cool.
seen a lot of them and they're pretty plain, but the ones you have are pretty intricate. So where did you buy yours?
See, like even this one has like actual fur on it. You see that?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna blow
Oh my
this one.
God. Did you blow that one too or no? I don't
Watch.
remember seeing that one.
But it has fur, and like I said, I mean, you could see just the way. I mean,
Oh
look at
my
that.
gosh. Yeah.
So, like I said, the gentleman, my contact, he's in Mexico, and he comes to
Okay.
San Antonio like
What
once
part
a
of
year.
Mexico?
I never asked him what part of Mexico, but I know that he comes once a year, and he will bring them, and then I buy them. Like, I'll buy so many of them, and then in turn, I know other paranormal investigators, other people who just want to buy them, and so I kind of sell them to them. And I also have this one right here. Like I said, that looks like a freaking rattlesnake head. Look at that.
Yeah, it does with the teeth.
That's so insane, right?
Mm-hmm. I like
But
it.
yeah, there's just a bunch of and like I said, one of my friends who's in the UK, she actually bought 2 of them for me, and I said, "Are you
Oh,
sure?"
she did?
Yeah, I was like, "Are you sure you want me to send it to the UK? Because there's a fee there for international." She's like, "Look, I don't care what it costs, just send them to me." So, I mean, she paid all the fees, she paid what they cost, and I shipped them out. So, um, it's pretty cool, man. It's and then I even have this one. Look at this one. It's like an eagle looking one, and you can see the little
Oh my
face
gosh.
and the
It
mask.
is kind of like an eagle, kind of like a turkey.
And the cool thing
Ben
is,
Franklin originally wanted our mascot to be the turkey instead of the
for the
eagle.
most part, you can put like a necklace, a little loop in there, and you can
Yeah,
like
you
wear
can
it.
hang that from your neck.
Yep. So these
Did
are
you
pretty
blow
cool.
that one?
Yeah. This one, and again, all these, when you hear them, for the most part, wherever they look like, they kind of, and it's weird. I don't know how they give a sound like what they look like, But here's this one. So, to me, it sounds like a regular whistle, but when you listen to it, it's supposed to be like an eagle sound.
Well, it sounds different from the front side than the back. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a bird or a whistle. I mean, like a eagle kind of thing. But again,
I could hear like 5 different tones in that one.
they're all cool. Like I had one like this red one, but it was like that like a turquoise kind of color, and one of my buddies bought it for me the other day.
He
And then
what?
I had
Borrowed it?
he bought it for me here
Oh,
locally.
okay.
But I had one, and actually I think I have a picture of it. Let me show you. There's one that I had. The guy told me, he's like, "You see this one right here? It was an all black one, a skull, just all black. No cut. It wasn't like this one. See how this one's black, but this is painted
Yeah.
black. The one that he had was just bare bones, like just like a black clay or something." He goes, "You see this one right here?" He goes, "If you're looking to summon some dark stuff, I mean things you can't handle, this is the one to blow on." He's like, "But if you do not want to mess with that stuff, do not blow it." I said, "Okay." And I know one guy, one of my friends, he has a haunted museum here in Texas. And I said, "Hey man, this is for the more darker people who like the darker stuff." And he goes, "I'll buy from you." So he sent me the money. I shipped it to his museum. But let me show you a picture.
And he's in, where is he at?
He's in Austin, Texas. He has his own haunted
Okay.
museum. Let me see. And the crazy part. Oh, here it is. And the crazy part is, I recorded a video with him not that long ago, and I posted it to TikTok, and it hit over 2.4 million views. I think that now it's at 2.6 million views. I was like, "What the hell? It's crazy." But
Yeah.
look at this. It's a creepy looking one.
Oh yeah, that just seeing that would scare the shit out of me, and it just makes me wonder, like, would the enemy really be that close to see that? But if I had laid eyes upon that, I'd be hiding in some sort of pyramid or something.
And look at
If I
it.
was an
Look at it.
Aztec, be
I
like,
kept trying to take. I kept trying to take pictures of it initially when I first got it, and for some reason, it just kept like it kept blending into the background. And
It
look at
reminds
this.
me of Aliens, like the Aliens trilogy as far
Look
as
at this.
movies.
Look at this. Hold on. Like watch. Look.
Oh my goodness.
Can you see it? Where it's at?
Yeah. Yeah.
The black one. You see it there? Dude, look how black it is.
Yeah.
You can't even like when you have it from the distance, like it's just blending into the dark. Like you can't even see the features of it. How black it
Yeah,
is.
it's the black one. It's like the second to the
And then once you zoom in, you can finally see it there.
yeah.
Look at that owl. Look at that owl, man.
Yeah, that one's creepy too.
But anyway, those are some
T
of
Shane.
the.
So you have all of those?
Well, a lot of them are gone already. I sold a lot of them. I only have whatever's here right now. That's all I have left. I sold a lot of them.
So when you blow those, does anything happen? Like, do you experience like any uptake in paranormal experience or no?
Not here because, like I said, it's when you're blowing these whistles. Like I said, it comes down to the intention. What are you hoping to achieve when blowing these things? And so for me, since I know that I'm just trying to, kind of give you an example what they, how they work, right? Well, actually, not even how they work, but it's how they sound. It's one thing. But if I were to get up and be like, I
And where
wanna,
you're at,
if I want to summon
like
some
your
shit, I want
environment.
to, amplify the energy, then it all comes down to the intention of what I'm going to do with that blow when I'm blowing the whistle. But so far, nothing. I mean, the only thing that has happened is one time I was here where I'm at in my office. I blew the whistle and I started hearing this weird, like high pitched sound. I'm like, what the hell is that? What is that?
Like a dog whistle. You're like,
It was like really high pitched. I'm like, where the hell is that coming from? So I walked through my house. I'm looking, and in my camera bag that I have one of my SB7 spirit boxes, and it's one that's been modified that has a temperature reader on there. And so for some reason, I guess, and here's the thing, with that ghost box, with that option, in order for you to use that little sensor, you have to hold the button down to activate it.
you have
I'm
to
over
touch
here.
it.
Yeah, I'm over here in the room. I just blew the whistle and it made the thing activate across the house. And I was like, holy cow. So yeah, you gotta be careful. But I mean, again, if you're not gonna use it for what it is, again, it's just a good, decorative piece as a collector, to collect
Yeah,
it.
could be like a party favor or whatever. But yeah, I'm thinking like if you're in the area, general area of certain things happening or whatnot, could activate things. But you're in Texas. That used to be a part of Mexico. So I'm just wondering, like, does that upsweep some paranormal activity? Like, what?
Right.
Makes me wonder.
But
Because I'm not from there.
yeah, anybody who ever, is interested, man. I mean, they're here. Like I said, they're really cool. I use it for my own investigations from time to time. And we've noticed that whenever we use them, and it doesn't matter, like let's say I want to cross the way to put my devices across the building, and I blow from across the other side. The moment you blow them, it's like everything goes haywire. All the devices go crazy for some reason.
Right. That's intriguing though, like that it does do an upsweep. And I was watching a video the other day where they're like, oh, well, notice how this person was next to this unit, and then they just put their cell phone over here. So then it activated, then they put their cell phone over here, and then, but it's still activated. Like, it's not that it's the cell phone. I think there's energies, and people just want to deny. I don't know. To me, it's pretty intriguing. Like, there's so much activity, and I feel like even especially since COVID broke out, like, I don't know if it's the fear among the populace or what the heck is going on, but there's been a total upsweep as far as my group goes. Like, so many people calling out to me for help, and I can't go because I learned my lesson once. I went by myself for this pregnant lady just up the road, and I got possessed that night. So I don't go by myself anymore. So I have to have at least one other person with me to go and do this. And it's just like hard because it's hard to get anybody out of their shell anymore to go.
Right.
People are scared.
Yeah, no, it's I try, I don't know about yourself, right? But for me, I try, having monthly meetups with our following, with the people who follow us, our midnight watchers, because we want people to come out to meet us, know who we are on a more intimate one-on-one level. But we also want them to know that what we deal with is a very real thing. We will show them evidence that we've captured that we haven't posted. We talk to them, we pick their brain, they pick our brain, they get to know us. And people, there's some people out there who think that this is not a real thing. I'm like, it's not real until you're the one being affected. Then it becomes real really quickly. And
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, respect this, because if you don't, you're going to be humbled really quickly.
And it is real. And I don't know, have you noticed an upsweep in paranormal activity since COVID hit? Do you
Yeah,
think it's a fear thing as far as people have fear not only of the paranormal but losing their jobs, their house, etc.,
I think
etc.?
so. I think so. I think the fact that it has so many people scared. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, even when COVID came, it really messed me up because I got COVID. I had got
Yeah.
COVID, and it made me not even want to go investigate, because I was like, what if I get it again, or what if I get people
Mm-hmm.
sick? It's just in your mind. And so, but I feel like because of there's so much fear, and I know things are kind of like, not that they're getting better, but people are realizing that COVID's not going away. So it's
Yeah.
like
It's
people
kind of
are
like
kind
the
of
common cold.
right. It's like, so people are kind of coming to the conclusion that, hey, you know what, I can't stop living life anymore. I can't just stop, and I got to keep going, because if it's not COVID today, who knows what the next virus and the next disease coming next time? You know what I mean? So it's always going to be something that's going to come, and maybe one day there'll be something that tops COVID and comes later on. So many years in the future. Who knows? But it's like you just got
Yeah.
to, just like anything in life, you kind of adapt, and you get through it and just grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
like I've had COVID 3 times so far. My
oh,
husband almost died from COVID. He was in a medically induced coma. He had a tube stuck down his throat, like all kinds of shit.
mhm,
So I was a single mom again of 3 instead of just 1. That scared the shit out of me.
right,
But as far as going on investigations, I'm like, "Hey guys, we got an investigation. You want to go?" Nobody wants to go. And
right,
now Mia, she's my snowbird. So she lives up here during the summer. She goes back to Arizona in the winter. And so I have nobody, and I learned my
right.
lesson that one time helping that pregnant woman. I'm like, I'm not scared. I didn't even feel anything. It wasn't until that night later that I got possessed. It was kind of like a
Right.
walk in instead of a possession. But yeah, I broke my expensive camera. All kinds of shit happened. And then it tried to possess me again. And I was walking away. My head was turning this way and I'm talking shit. And as soon as I got out the gate and, further away, it relented. But I learned my lesson. I'm not going to do it by myself again. I'm not going to
Right.
go on my own, even though I think I'm all powerful and I can do this. Honey boo boo child, ain't gonna do it.
Hmm.
But yeah, nobody will go with me anymore. And it's like I can't do it by myself, even though I have the self-esteem, everything else to do it. I learned my lesson last time and I want to help people. So I'm at the point where I walk people through things and steps online. This is what you do step by step by step, etc., 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 or on the phone as well. And it's just not the same.
Right. Can I show you a video real fast?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna show you a video of when we took on a case where I had just gotten over COVID, and I was trying to get back into the swing of things of investigating, and we were called for a case where the children, it was a little boy, it was not a little boy, but a teenage boy and teenage girl, where they had like the signs of where they're being oppression, and they were
Mm-hmm.
leading to possession. And then it got to a point where the girl became more affected than the son. The daughter was being more affected than the boy was. And
Right.
so we when here's one of my rules. one of my rules is this: if let's say you and I work together in an investigation, and say there's a little, I don't care if it's a little boy, a little girl, or even a grown woman or a grown man.
It's a
If
soul.
I'm the man, and there's a woman there or a little girl, I as a man will not put my hands on the little girl, or the woman, to kind of
No.
restrain them. I kind
And
of
sometimes you ask permission before, but still, it doesn't make it
so I won't
okay.
do that, right? So even with the ladies, I'm like, you too have to be careful because you never know what you can be accused of or what may be taken
Or
out of
what can
context.
jump. Yeah.
Right. And so we're there. I mean, they're there. My team's there, and I was at home watching remotely, and the girl was being affected really badly, and so I'm gonna show you footage of where she was. It looked, and I'm not trying to say that she was possessed, but it had it was almost like it looked like it was, right. So I'm gonna show you the video, and that way you can check it out. And what was really crazy is Ronnie, my investigator, he's also a Marine, and I mean this guy ain't
Simplify.
he ain't no pushover. And the little girl, I think she was like, I mean, she had to have been like 13, maybe. I forgot how old she was. She grabs him by the hand and almost breaks his hand. And so I'm gonna show you the video, and you're gonna hear him in the background. He's like, "Oh,
Okay,
like
so is this gonna come on your video feed? Because I'm
yeah."
trying to figure out how to make
I'm
yours
gonna show my
bigger.
screen, and I'll show it to you. Oh, you just jumped out. Where did you go?
Okay,
Did you
you said
leave?
you were about to show a video, so I wanted your screen to be bigger than mine.
Oh, okay. But just make sure I share my screen.
Don't
Okay.
get scared.
No. Just make sure when I do it, just share my screen. Okay. Here we go.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Here we go. All right. Now make sure to hover over the thing and hit share on the other video, the extra video.
So yeah, I'll be here with you till it pops up, and then I'll pop out. But yeah, I was just trying to learn
Let it
how to
pop
do
up.
that. Yeah.
Scroll over where it shows the extra little box and click on it and add it or over the actual video. Like go to the video that look, I'm gonna stop this. Hold on. I'm gonna do it again. And when it pops up on your side, you're gonna see it says request, to share my screen, and hover over with your mouse and click on it. There you go. Okay, now you did it. All right, so I'm gonna show you this video.
Checking her in Jesus' name. We're praying in group. Putting holy water on you. I don't know if you get her. We're praying in group. In the Heavenly Father's name. No, in Heavenly Father's name. In Heavenly Father's name.
Because like he's holding her hand and she tries to break his hand. So I'm gonna do it one more time.
Yeah, I saw her like try to remove it.
Checking her in Jesus' name. We're praying in group.
And she looks at him right now. She wants to break his hand. Watch.
We're praying in group.
To me, it's like
Right here,
so
like she's looking at
heartbending,
you.
like the wrenching screams and stuff that they put out. It's like they want you to stop, but you shouldn't stop because that to me is like the demon wanting you to stop, right? I don't know.
Yeah, the other gentleman, the more heavier guy was her uncle praying over her, but Ronnie's off to the right, like where you can't see him. But when you hear him go, "Oh, Nelly," that's him talking because like she's like twisting his
And
hands.
she kind of calmed down for a second when he said that.
And there's more to the video that and oh my god, man, I had this video saved in one of my other memory memory
Like
banks,
archives.
and I think I freaking deleted it, man. I was so mad at myself.
Well, it could be in your archives, so don't think you deleted it. It could be in your archives. Yeah.
But yeah, I tell people, man, it's like we deal with stuff in cases, and whether you think it's real or not, I mean, we're dealing with it. And I mean, we've had police get involved in some cases, and they're like, hey, man, we can't do anything about it. And they leave.
I know, and a lot of people think it's BS, but there's even cases in the UK where people call the cops and the cops come and they're like, this shit is really happening. Like, this stuff really does happen. And it really
Right.
is happening. Like, don't just disregard it because you're like, oh, well, it's demons or it's this or this or that. These things are really happening. And ever since COVID, it's rampant. Like, it's
Right.
hardcore. There's so many different things happening right now. And I can't believe like how many calls I got compared to what it was before COVID and since COVID. And I think it's the fear aspect of
Mhm.
it. People are afraid of, things going on in their family, losing their jobs, etc., etc., etc. So many different things happening that are fear-based, and that's what they feed off of is fear.
Right. Yep, that's true.
So what happened with that girl? Is she okay?
Sorry, I keep freaking burping. Sorry. So
You
what
had
ended
a
up
good dinner.
I'm like,
You're
man,
like testing your food as you cook it.
I keep just munching.
Yeah, you got to
So no,
taste your food as you cook it. Otherwise, you're not a good chef.
right. So what ended up happening was, uh, after that video you saw, that was when the team was initially first going to meet the client. Well, myself and one of my other friends, George, we went to the actual house to do an investigation. And what was really crazy was we were investigating, and we went outside for a moment to take a break, and we had my phone in the house live so people can be tuning in. And as we're outside talking, we're watching from his phone to my phone, and you can hear doors slamming in the house. Boom, like just doors shutting and slamming.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're baffled, man. We're like, wow, this is crazy. And then we leave that night. My sister Jeanette, who's my co-founder of my team, she shows up with the team. I didn't go to that one, and the girls there, they brought the girl to the house because she didn't want to be in the house because whatever's there was affecting her in the way it was. So they said we need to reintroduce her back into the location. That way we can see how it makes her react and feel. And she started wigging out, and we we ended up doing a cleansing, and after the cleansing, it was just like it never happened. Like she just shook it off. It stopped, and I'm grateful it stopped because now she's in a better place now. But it
So
could have
once you
easily,
took her out of the location, she was okay?
yeah. When she would leave, she was fine, but when we brought her back, it was like boom. And
Yeah,
the thing is
back
this,
again.
when these things are happening, we don't just assume it's the paranormal. We
No,
don't
you have to
assume it's
test it.
projection. But one thing that comes to our mind is this, and I'm just gonna kind of tell you where my mind's at, right? When I see a child go into their home and they're afraid, you think, okay, well, in my mind, I'm like, okay, without jumping to the conclusion it's paranormal, why is she acting out this way? Is she troubled? Is something happening at home that she's reacting this way? She's like, she's acting out because she's afraid to speak up. Maybe she's being, and I hate to say this, but maybe she's being violated some way. Maybe she's having
Could
like
be.
some altercation with her family. Maybe is she on drugs? I mean, there's just so many things. Does she have mental, a disability that's making her do this? I mean, it's just so many things you try to go through to eliminate to try to get to the bottom before you jump to paranormal. And so, but obviously she's being affected by something because she's the way she's reacting. Well, then we did the cleansing. We work with her, and then it just stops. And so, I every now and then one of my good friends who also was a client for me, she knows the girl still. So I asked her to this day, like, hey, how is she doing? She's like, oh, she's in a better place. She's way better. No
That's
more.
good.
None of it's happening anymore.
That's such good news. At least something is helping because I've seen different cases where people have been possessed and it just consumes them. And I think it was a 1970s case where a girl was going through that. She was so beautiful before, and it was like eat, 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 like to the point where like her face was all sucked up, her teeth were, you know, projecting, and she eventually died from it because nobody believed it. Supposedly there was certain aspects of doing a cleansing, but she died from it. So I'm so glad that this girl is like doing better, because there's been some worse outcomes from that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
For
glad
sure.
that she's still here and she's doing okay.
Yeah.
That's insane. So I don't know. So is there anything else as far as your investigations that you've been on that you want to talk about within this last 20 minutes of the show?
Well, actually, one thing that I wanted to talk about was we're going to start implementing something really cool coming in 2023. So one of the things that we're going to be implementing is called the MPS family. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing with this MPS family, this is an opportunity to for up and coming teams, whether you're seasoned, whether you're new to the field. We're looking to get people associated with MPS and bring you under our family, our umbrella, because one of the things that we want to do is, that I've been doing personally, is a lot of people come to me for some reason, and I'm okay with it. They come to me and they keep asking me, "Hey, Mike, there's someone being affected by this, and they're like in another country or another city, another state. Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Who can we connect them with?" And so I'm always like doing the research and if it's someone who's not in Texas, let's say you're in Washington, you're in New Mexico, I do the research for these individuals and I'll connect them with the team that has good reviews, or that they're seasoned, they know what they're doing, and I'll connect them. You know, and so one of the things that I'm trying to do is I'm bringing people under the MPS family, or it's like having a community, build a community of paranormal investigators, of teams under MPS. And the reason for that is, whenever, I mean, there was a time before COVID where we were slammed with cases. And even now, people come to us all the time. Like recently, I got a call from one of our viewers who, there was a lady in Houston, and we couldn't get to her right away because, just we're all busy. And so again, there I go connecting them with somebody else. And so to me, it's like, I want to work with teams on a one-on-one level. If you're not in San Antonio, I'm willing to work with you through Zoom, through StreamYard, any way we can connect and build that trust, build those bonds. And for those who are local, I want to work with you face to face, in person, and that we can establish trust and build that friendship. And that way, whenever there comes a time where we need help on cases that we can't get to, I want to have these teams to know, hey, I know them on a personal level. This person's going to they're going to go handle the case for us until we can get out there. Or if we just can't get out there, they're going to take over the case for us. But I know you're in good hands because I know them one-on-one. It's not just some random team who I know nothing about.
Yeah.
And also too, with this MPS family that we're building, it's not just about that. It's about how can we as individuals learn from each other. Let's share the methods. Let's share whatever approach to the field, whatever. Let's learn more about the devices. How can we as teams become better? Because the only way we can educate people is when we educate ourselves, right? So that's where
And work together.
Yeah,
Let's not backstab and have the egos. Let's work together.
Right. So that's what we're doing. We're going to be implementing this in 2023, starting in January. We're going to implement this, and we already have several teams who are like, "Hey, man, let's do this. Like, we want to be a part of this. We want to work with you guys." And it's not about like, like blowing smoke up anyone's ass. It's not even about that. It's about coming together, working together, providing knowledge and education to people, us learning from each other, and then having this family, build this family together. So
and having open communication too is a big deal. Like, some people are like, "Oh, I don't want to share that information." Like, we're trying to work together. We need to get this done. And there is a thing called the Paranormal Phone Book, and I'm a part of it. And it has different teams from different locations. You can actually look in there and find somebody in your area. And a lot of people don't know. They'll reach out to me, and they're all the way up in South Dakota or whatever. I'm like, I know there's a team closer to you. Like, I can't afford to go there right now, but I know there's a team closer to you because I've seen the Paranormal phone book. So you need to look at this website, and it does exist. I think there's at
Yeah.
least 3 going on right now, but
and
we just need to
and
work together, communicate, and get this shit done for real.
and like one of the things that we do now, like I mentioned, is we have our monthly meetups for our viewers, right? Well, one of the
Mm-hmm.
things we're also going to be implementing is a monthly meetup, but for paranormal teams. Like I said, you know, bringing teams together. We have locations, whether it's here in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, that we use as testing grounds. Like if we want to try new methods, if we want to learn from each other, let's go to these public locations and we can investigate together. Just paranormal teams only. Nobody outside the paranormal teams, and let's work
And no
together.
egos.
Yeah,
Leave your
no
ego
egos.
behind.
All that stuff is like there's zero room for that. Let's just come
Yeah.
together, let's be friendly, and let's learn from one another. And so that's another thing we're gonna be implementing. Our starting now is the paranormal monthly meetups with different teams, and I think this gives an opportunity to really set those egos aside and just say, look, this is what I've been doing. This is what works. This is what hasn't been working. And us sharing those things with each other. You know what I mean? Because the only way we're gonna have breakthroughs or achieve furthering this field is saying, you know what, some people are like, this is my evidence or this is my whatever. Like, no, man, you need to drop that whole thing
Drop
and
that hat.
be open to sharing that stuff, because how are we supposed to have those breakthroughs when you're not willing to
You
share?
gotta
You know what
open up, share information. Yeah, it's the ego that's like, nope, I'm not going to tell you anything, not going to do that. I actually missed a call recently because I've been doing casework where I'm helping an individual that is not per what everybody would think, basically handicapped. And so I'm doing a lot of that. And then I'm doing paranormal investigation. And then Christmas happens. So there's so much shit on my plate. I've been able to work it out, supposedly, so far, except for I missed a family thing today. But egos, there is no room for that. Egos are ugly, disgusting. Leave that shit behind. Work together, share the information, because when you do that, we're helping people. If you're just like, oh, well, I'm doing this, so I'm not going to share that, that doesn't work. You need to share the information and allow somebody else to take it over. Who's in the area who can actually take care of that? It's very important because, like I said, since COVID hit, and we're talking, what, 2020? I keep wanting to say 2019, but I think it was 2020 when it got really bad. Not only was it mental things happening, but family abuse, etc., etc., etc. All these things are compounded.
Right.
Fears, anxieties, etc., have compounded this ordeal, but you need to be open, honest, and share the information. Don't hoard it. Let it go and let somebody else take it over if they're in that area to help. It's very important because we need to help each other in this time instead of just like putting it under a little blanket or rug or whatnot.
Right. And also, like, just to add to what you were saying, you know, I mean, there was many times that I've seen here locally where, I see people who are being affected by things, and the team who, I guess, however they get contacted, they're like, hey, I need help. Well, unfortunately, I can't get to you because I'm busy, which is understandable. But
Yeah.
instead of saying, hey, I have MPS or I have team ABC or team this, they don't want to let that, they don't want another team to take over and help those clients. They rather say, you wait, you suffer, and in 6 months I'll get back to you. Like, no, man, don't do that. That's stupid. You have to be willing to. No, it's not about you. It's about the person needing help.
Them.
Find somebody who can help them.
Yeah. And it's like you were saying earlier, like there's a family suicide. There's a family murder suicide. Like there's so many different fucking things happening. If you just let it go for somebody that can help there and don't be like, oh, well, in my dream I saw this and this and that and that. No, you need to actually investigate this case. You need to dig deep and get in there and figure out what the hell is going on and investigate. Don't just say, oh, well, this is what I'm feeling. No, you need to dig deep and find out what is actually going on. Could be a person that committed suicide, could be a person that committed murder, could be this and this and that and that. it's all up in the air until you really dig down and investigate and figure it out. And I don't know, those stories I heard you tell earlier, it just makes me so sad because people are overwhelmed already. We already got enough on our plate. We don't need that extra helping of stuffing or whatever the heck it is going on.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully we can work together, be open, let the ego go. Ego is not cool. It's
Right.
not.
For sure. I agree. And even just platforms like this, like your platform,
And your
bringing
platform.
yeah, bringing people on and just talking about things. This there's so many people out there who are currently going through things and they don't know who to turn to. They don't know who to talk to. They're afraid they're going to be laughed at or shot down. And when you provide a platform where, it's okay to speak up, you make
Mm-hmm.
it possible for them. This is the greatest thing you can do for them is provide a judge-free platform where you can say,
That's
listen,
right.
I don't care who you are, where you're from, if you are being plagued or you know someone who is, or you're going through something that you don't understand, it's okay to come and talk about it. You don't have to just deal with them like, you know what, I'm just gonna give into it and just forever go through this. You're not alone. We've been through these things. I've been through these things and I was able to overcome it. So can you. It's just a matter of finding the help and someone who's willing to help you, and
Yeah, and
there's
I
always
love that you say that because here, this is why I started this. Don't sweep it under the rug. You can talk to me because I will understand. And it's not my place to judge. My name is not God. I'm here to listen and understand and try to help you through this.
right.
Things are really hard right now. I get it. I've been through some hard shit too. I'm here for you. Like, my
Right.
name is not God. I'm not here to judge you. You're not here to judge them. Like, we're here to listen and try
Hmm.
to understand and try to help you through this. And that's what
Right.
I hope for. Like, that's the major key to this is to listen and help somebody through this. It's an open platform, like you said.
And not only that, but one thing I'm gonna say this, and whether people agree or don't agree, I mean, it's just my own personal thing. But I'm a believer in God, right? And I believe that God puts us in situations to reconnect these people back to Him. And so
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I'm always asking for, whenever I could be driving, I could be just, I'm like, Lord, if you feel the need to use me to put me in a situation where there's someone who's being plagued by these things that not even I understand, I'll probably never understand truly how these things work. But if you feel the need that they need to reconnect with you in some way, like put me in that position, like put me in that, allow our paths to cross in that way. Because here's the thing, I don't care who you are, whether you're a believer in God, whether you're an atheist, no matter what it
Mm-hmm.
is that you believe in.
Yep.
At the end of the day, and forgive me, forgive my language, but when shit goes down and you're in a situation where you're freaked out, you're afraid, the first thing you do is, God, please help me. I don't care who you are. You're like, oh, I don't believe. But when things are going
Yes,
against
that
you,
is
you're
so
right
true.
away like, hey, man, please help me, Lord. So at the end of the day, it's like, and I'm not trying to make this about preaching or anything. I'm not trying to do that. But, I'm always trying to find a way to have God in the mix in this because if it wasn't for Him or Him using us in that way, imagine going to this, imagine going to this investigation with these dark things, and God saying you're on your own.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I don't even
Bye,
want to.
Felicia. It's
I
like, no,
don't.
don't leave me.
Right?
No, seriously though, like I used to have a roommate named Patrick, and he's like, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in anything. But when he was dying, he's like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And I'm like, why are you saying that? Because you don't believe. But I don't know. It doesn't have to be God or anything else. It could be the universe. It could be
Mm-hmm.
like this one entity that is the all powerful. It doesn't have to be God, although it is in a certain extent. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but he was like, oh God, help me, oh God. And I'm like, why are you saying that? Because you don't really believe in God. But I just believe that it's like the all powerful. It could be the universe, it could be this, it could be that. Whatever you believe God is, could be it. And I've also had people, because I share the message from the universe, and this person, I had to block him because he's like, why are you saying this from the universe when it's actually God? I'm like, don't you believe that God is the universe? God created everything. So how is it any different? Like, to me, I didn't understand because, like, to me, it's like everything. Like, when I look out in the forest or I look at my children, I look at this, I look at that. To me, it's the
Right,
creator, God, whatever you want to label it.
right, right.
I don't know. I just might, be stupefied, but
No,
I don't
not at all.
know. I
But
think I get it.
yeah, no, whoever's you believe in and you're praying to,
The all
that's on.
powerful. Yeah, the
Yeah.
main being. Whoever's
But
there in control of this whole thing. Could be Oz
we,
behind the curtain. I don't know.
I appreciate you inviting me onto your, to your platform, your program, your show.
I
Like I
appreciate
said,
you being here. I was so afraid that I was going to have to bore everybody with story time, but I was like, are you going to be here? If not, I need to, redo my stuff. But I'm so glad you were here, and I appreciate you cooking for your family and doing what you do. And I'm just so glad you were here. So could you tell our listeners where to find you, how to contact you, etc.?
yeah, I mean, if you ever have any questions or concerns or what's about the death whistles, whether it's about, any questions about the paranormal, you can always find us, go to Facebook and just do, you can just type out the actual link like facebook.com/paranormal MPS, or you can just type in Midnight Paranormal Society and make sure the MPS is in Texas. And you won't miss it. You can't miss it. You'll see this picture right here. Look, you'll see that picture on my little video, Midnight Paranormal Society. That's us. You can message me there. You can ask for Mike. You can ask for any one of us. Or if you want to reach out me directly and keep it kind of confidential, you're more than welcome to email me directly at paranormal MPS. That's M as in Mike, P as in Paul, S as in Sam, MPS at gmail.com. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. Or, and if you want to watch our shows, we have our shows Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays usually. But because of the holidays, we're letting the team enjoy their family time. Yeah, and if you're in Texas and you want to come down to our monthly meetups, we're going to have them pretty much every month going forward. This next one, we're going to post the information soon, so you can come out and check us out. And one more, if you have TikTok, follow me on TikTok at MPS Founder Mike, and you'll see just the content I have on there as well is pretty cool.
For real. So, I don't know. I think we were buffering a few times. So over here on Spreaker, we have 7 minutes and 25 seconds left. But yeah, my brother was trying to invite me to this thing, and I'm like, where is it? And the only thing he could tell me was like south, basically Central Texas is where it's supposed to be. And it's a meeting of the minds for doctors, nurses, farmers, whoever else on the same wavelength as far as like the world's going to shit. We need to make our own community, blah, blah, blah. I can't go there because I can't afford to leave work. I'm a caretaker and I can't
Right.
afford to leave my girl, Tassie, and I need to be here for her. There's no way I can take a week off and leave her behind because that would be irresponsible of me, but I want to go. He's got a free ticket if anybody's interested. But yeah, it talks about so many things. Man, I wish maybe I can pull it up really quick. But yeah, it's pretty intriguing. If anybody wants to go, he does have a free ticket. And he just messaged, then called me earlier and was like, "Are you going to go?" And I'm like, "I just can't do it, brother, cousin, son." Let me see what it's called if I can find it. Oh, he's talking about my family. Oh, come to find out I'm royalty. Well, bow down and kiss my ass. But co-creation. So the Greater Reset is the name of this thing. Is pretty intriguing. And it's like in Central Texas. It's pulling up right now. Okay, the Greater Reset co-creation, January 18th through January 22nd. So you can do it online. at the Greater Reset. Hold on. I have to scroll down. Holy shnikes. So we have speakers, Derek Bros, the Greater Gateway in-person events. So this one's going to be in Central Texas, USA. So I don't know if you're interested. He's got a free ticket. Like I said, he's like, are you going to make it or not? And I'm like, I can't say I'm going to. That's not going to work for me. But if you're interested or somebody else you know, that'd be cool. But it's the Greater Reset Activation is the world's collective response to the World Economic Forum's initiative, the Great Reset. We are the people's reset. We offer an alternative to the WEF's top-down, centralized, authoritarian vision. Our desire is to help all people find community and liberty by providing practical steps and knowledge for co-creating a world that respects individual liberty, bodily autonomy, and choice. We invite you to join us for 5 days of discussion about the diverse opportunities available for those who seek to live in harmony with humanity and the planet while respecting our innate freedoms. It's like I really respect all that, but I can't go. I can't do it. I have responsibilities. I'd like to go, but there's 5 days. I can't go for 5 days. So the first day
Right.
is liberate your mind, body, and soul. Second day is permacultural and food independence. The other day is agorism and parallel networks. Take back our tech. Building free conscious communities. And that's about it. So yeah. You're in Texas if you want to go. My brother's allowing somebody to go, but I don't know. And he said there's like a little, hub over here, and he's like, "Hey, there's doctors, there's this, there's that. You can get a hold of them, and once shit hits the fan, you guys could start your own commune." I'm like, okay. I don't know.
Well,
I
good
don't
luck with that.
well, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it is.
But anyways, here, let me start. Here in about 30 seconds, I'm going to start this last song. But no, it was a pretty cool thing, but I can't take 5 days off to go do
No.
that. I have to take care of this person. I have to take care of my family. And, I wish I was a single white female that could take advantage of this, but sorry, can't do
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you so much again for being a part of the show tonight. It was awesome to have you, and I'm glad we linked up. I got worried. I was like, man, I'm going to be boring everybody with story time. I'm going to do that tomorrow night. I don't want to do that 2 nights in a row, so I'm so grateful that you were here tonight.
Oh, my pleasure.
So could you tell our listeners once again where to contact you?
Yeah, one more time, you can look us up at Midnight Paranormal Society on Facebook. And like I said, all you gotta do is find this picture. Bang, on my little thing here, you can see my picture. And that's the one you want to click on. You can send us a message anytime. Make sure you click like and follow. You'll see our live shows, our live investigations, our monthly meetups. If you're a paranormal team looking to link up and want to learn from, work with us, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. Find us on TikTok at MPS Founder Mike. If you want to email me directly, because you want to keep it confidential, you can do that too. Paranormalmps@gmail.com. Send us over any questions, concerns. If you want us to look at any evidence you may have, send it over through email. And that's how you can pretty much get a hold of me.
Nice. Well, thank you so much once again, Mike, for being a part of the show. It was awesome to have you. I'm so glad you were here. I was like, man, 2 times in a row, but yeah, super grateful. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime.
Awesome. And I want to thank all of our friends out there on We Are Paradox Media's Facebook, KPNL Radio, Twitter, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, wherever the heck you're listening to us tonight beyond the Omniverse. I'm so glad you were here with us as a family, because this time of year, that's the most important thing, is to stick together. Let's get through this. Wherever else you're listening, be on there. I had a wonderful time this evening, and I can't wait to do it again next weekend. Oh my gosh. We got the Paradox Paranormal Forum. We're going to have all of us crazies out there celebrating the new year that's about to be upon us. And then I think story time again after that. I don't know yet. But don't forget, we're all in this together. Together, we can make the world a little better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media, because without you, there is no us. Until next time, nighty night, love and light. Take care of my yous, and I will see you back here, same time, same crazy ass place. Well, that was nice. Yeah, I'm so grateful that you were here. I was so scared. I was like, I don't want to do story time 2 days in a row. People are gonna fucking hate me for this.
No, anytime.
So what'd you cook? What'd you cook for dinner tonight?
I made some ham and just all the sides, man. I ate, and I felt like it took so long to make it. But the ham I did it in a pressure cooker, my pressure cooker, and
Oh,
so it did it really quick. I mean, it was done. It was ready to rock. And by the time I sat down and ate my food, you had messaged me like, "Hey, you gonna come on?" I had just finished my plate, and I was like, "Dude, I didn't hell with that food." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get on right now." I just jumped on.
yeah. I was like, are you gonna come on or not? Because otherwise, I had like 5 or 6 different places. I needed to go and change the thing for her, and I was like, I'm gonna do this, speed dial. Yeah.
I always have. I mean, it's a pleasure. I mean, I enjoy it. I really love to come on and do these. It's always fun, you know.
Yeah, for real. And I don't know, like I've had a lot of paranormal experiences. So if you never or ever need me on your show, just let me know, because oh my goodness, like I had the lady in the black lace dress with the black veil right before my mom died. I had the fireball, which I think is more supernatural than paranormal, but it was indeed intelligent. And then I saw these little demon thingies. They look, you know what gremlins look like? Not
Mhm.
the mogwai, but the little gremlins. They look like
Right.
that. And they chased my brother and captured him. And after that, my brother wasn't the same. He still won't talk about it. And so many different things. Like I've experienced since the age of, I'm going to say 3 on. So yeah, I have a whole bookload if you ever want me on your show. But I'd
Yeah,
love
for
to have
sure.
you back on
Yeah.
too
Let's
someday.
set that up, and I would love to have you on. It'd be great to hear your stories.
Yeah, for real. It'd be awesome. But I'm so glad you showed up tonight, because I was like, what am I going to do? I can't do story time
No,
2 days in a row.
and I keep my word for sure, so you're good.
Nice. Yeah, I was worried because there's a lot of people out there that aren't like you, and they're flaky, and they just flake me off. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? But yeah, I'm super
It
grateful you
happened.
showed up, and I'm glad you were here, man of your word. And it was awesome.
Yeah, last time I had to go because we had an investigation, but I was like, you know what, I'll
Oh,
come
yeah.
on.
And I totally got that. Like, yeah, I totally understood that. I was like, no worries. Like, we'll do. And that was like my favorite. Like, even compared to this time, like last time, I think it was more in depth. And this time I felt like it was kind of a little rushed because, like you said, you were under stress, you were cooking this and this and that and that. And then
Right,
we didn't get as much detail as last time, but it was still really, really good. And I really
right.
enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
next time I'll share some more stories. You know, once again under the circumstance of having to cook, I think once where it's more relaxed, I will have
Mm-hmm.
more time to just really dive in deep and cover some more really cool stories.
Yeah, people just don't get it because they're like, yeah, I'm sitting here, I'm watching the game, or, whatever the parade is or whatever that is. And they don't understand all the depth that goes into cooking. Yes, you can do it willy nilly, but, you're putting love into it. You're putting all this quality time, everything
Hmm.
else. And oh my gosh, the food is so good.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it really makes the whole thing go together quite well.
for sure.
But thank you again for being on, and Merry Christmas. And
Merry
I
Christmas.
really appreciate you for being here. And yeah, I'm so grateful.
All right. Well, you have a good night, and we'll talk very, very soon. Okay.
All right, you too. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye bye.
Bye.